After the campus beauty and I had a huge fight, I vanished the next day. From then on, it was like I vanished from her life. Neither students nor teachers knew where I went. When she went to my house, she found out my family had moved too. With no other options, she tearfully begged her dad to call in favors and have the police check my ID records. But the results said no such person existed. Back then, Chloe had only one thought. The boy she loved was dead. She believed that for 3 years. 3 years later, I returned after finishing a classified national research project. I learned Chloe was a sophomore at Fairmont University. To make up for what I left behind in high school, I could have become a visiting professor, but I enrolled at Fairmont University as a freshman instead. Fairmont University School of Economics and Management, freshman check-in. Chloe sat calmly at the freshman welcome desk. Just sitting there, she drew plenty of passing freshmen. Chloe, you're seriously Fairmont's undisputed campus queen. Look at those new freshmen. They can't take their eyes off you. I guarantee it, once check-in ends, who knows how many freshmen will be asking around about you. Let them. I'm not into dating anyway. I'd rather than date some random guy, hang by Reflection Lake with you girls, and grab late-night food on Lantern Row. Way more romantic than love. But as soon as she said that, the light in Chloe's eyes dimmed. Walking by Reflection Lake, getting barbecue at Lantern Row, studying at the library, skipping class, watching him play in school basketball games. She'd said all those things to that boy before. But among all the students passing through campus now, some had his eyes, some had his nose, and some even talked like him. But none of them were him. Natalie noticed Chloe's sad look and got nervous. Chloe, don't tell me you're still hung up on that boyfriend, who's been dead for 3 years. Her roommates knew the basics of Chloe's story. A teenage crush, dating young, secret feelings. We've all had something like that growing up. But even if you've mourned him for 3 years, 3 years have still passed. Why not give yourself a fresh start? Chloe knew what Natalie meant and smiled easily. It's not like I can't let him go. I just can't like anyone else yet. Chloe tugged Natalie's hand. All right, quit standing around. The freshmen should be arriving by now. Go welcome them at the gate. Maybe our department got a few cute guys you'll actually like. Good point. Natalie quickly left the desk and headed to the gate. Chloe let out a long breath. Her slightly red eyes blinked quickly. She was back in those days of dozing off in math, passing notes in English and copying lyrics during study hall. Back then, even 10 minutes could hold a sweet dream. A summer breeze soon tousled the hair by her cheek. Chloe looked up, and sadness returned to her face. An unspoken sadness crossed her face. If only you were still here. Outside Fairmont University, I stood with my suitcase. I looked up at the grand school gates. In my usually calm heart, something stirred. Leaving without a word back then, she must have been devastated. I took a deep breath. I walked inside. Before I got far, Natalie, wearing a volunteer armband, walked up to me warmly. Hey freshman, what department are you in? I'm a check-in volunteer. I'll show you where to go. Economics and management. I don't know my way around, so thanks. No problem. What a coincidence. I'm in econ and management, too. So you're basically my junior. Natalie reached for my suitcase. Give me that. I'll take you to check in. I subtly pulled the suitcase back. No need. It's pretty heavy. I've got it. Natalie didn't push it and smiled. Fine. Just stay close. So Natalie led me toward the freshman check-in desk. After a few steps, I looked up and asked, since you're in econ and management, do you know Chloe Bennett? Natalie nodded right away, teasing in her eyes. Of course. You're well-informed, freshman. You just got here, and you've already figured out who our school's prettiest girl is. You like Chloe, too? Chloe and I went to the same high school. I came here because of her. That's why I chose Fairmont's Econ and Management program. Natalie looked surprised, then gave me a knowing look. So you came for her. Kids these days are bold. But if you went to the same high school, you must have heard about Chloe's story. That caught me off guard. As far as I remembered, Chloe had always been a model student. Other than being the campus beauty and a top student, I didn't know what else there was to her story. Does always placing second count? I was always first. Then my phone suddenly rang in my pocket. I gave Natalie an apologetic look. Sorry, I need to take this. I answered the phone. Professor Shaw, it's Ethan. Professor Shaw was a Fairmont professor, still fairly young, but already a national authority in microelectronics and physical electronics. He was now at Fairmont University School of Electronic and Information Engineering, overseeing its research division. During my 3 years at the research complex, my expertise had won over leading researchers nationwide, including professors across many fields. I built quite a network. A cheerful middle-aged voice came through the line. Chief Engineer Hayes, I'm so sorry. The original plan was for me to meet you at the school gate. But a project upstairs hit a problem at the last minute. And they need me. I'm not in Fairmont right now. I'm really sorry. The project comes first. I'm fine. I'm already checking in. Still, I don't get it. With your research level, you could outclass doctoral students. Why suddenly go to college? Chief Engineer Hayes, same offer as always. Whenever you change your mind, I'll file the paperwork immediately to make you an honorary professor at Fairmont. If you want to teach, we'll create a whole program for you. I guarantee our package will beat Rivorton University's. Back at the research complex, every dean wanted to recruit me, but back then, I was focused on cracking the lithography system, so the deans didn't press me about it. Now that the work is done, my achievements alone could earn me a seat at the National Academy of Sciences. An academician this young would be fought over anywhere. Now that you're at Fairmont, we can't let you slip away. We'll talk about that later. Let me rest for a while first. I'm about to finish checking in, and you're busy, so I'll let you go. All right, go check in. I'm not on campus right now, but if you need anything, just call me. Sure. Once you're back in Fairmont, I'll come see you. I hung up. By then, we'd reached the check-in area. Natalie looked around. Chloe, who had been at the desk, was gone. She hurried over to the others and asked, "Where's Chloe? I brought her a freshman from back home. The campus queen said it was too hot, and we'd had a long day, so she's treating us to milk tea. She went to pick it up." Natalie looked disappointed and turned to me. "Sorry, freshman. Chloe had to step out. You won't see her today." I gave a small smile and nodded. "It's okay. We've got plenty of time. Which class are you in?" "Econ and Management, freshman class 1. Then you're good. Chloe and I are both assigned to your freshman class 1 as assistant advisors. You'll see her tomorrow at the class meet and greet. Go check in first." I nodded. I walked up to the check-in table. They verified my acceptance letter. They found my name on the freshman list. After I signed, I got my dorm key and student ID. An upperclassman came over. "Got everything? I'll take you to your dorm. Drop off your luggage first, then pick up your bedding at the dorm office. They've got basic supplies too." I nodded and followed the sophomore toward the men's dorms. Not long after I left, Chloe returned to the Econ and Management check-in area. Natalie rushed right up to Chloe. "Chloe, your timing was awful. Listen, our department got this insanely handsome, super classy freshman. He said he went to your high school too. I'm telling you, he definitely came here for you." Chloe smiled helplessly. "Stop right there. I'm not looking to date. I didn't say you had to date him. He's your junior from back home. You should at least look out for him. He's in class 1 anyway. You'll see him at tomorrow's orientation. His name is Ethan Hayes. Does that name ring a bell?" The moment Natalie said that, Chloe's heart seemed to stop. Even her voice began to shake. "What did you say his name was?" "Ethan Hayes. Why?" Chloe shook her head, disappointed. Her voice was urgent. "And nothing. Which way did he go?" Natalie pointed in the direction I'd gone. When Chloe looked over, the sophomore and I were turning into an alley. But in that instant, Chloe thought she saw that boy's silhouette. She quickly shook her head. "No, that's impossible. It was probably just the same name. 3 summers ago, she fought with me and said she'd never talk to me again. But 2 days later, after calming down, she texted me. But from that day on, I vanished from her life. No student or teacher knew where I went. My family had moved, and even when she went to the police, my ID records had been erased. At that point, one thought entered Chloe's mind. I was dead. She believed it for 3 years. So that silhouette couldn't possibly have been me. At most, he shared my name and looked similar from behind. In the end, Chloe trembled slightly and held herself back from chasing after me. The sophomore took me to the dorm building, then left. Following the room number on my key, I opened the door to my college dorm. Soon, the other 2 roommates arrived. The 4 of us ranked ourselves by age. Marcus was the oldest and Daniel was second. I was third, and Owen was the youngest. It's not every day guys from all over end up together. I'm from Fairmont, so I know this area. Dinner's on me tonight. Sound good? Marcus quickly waved him off. No need to treat us. We'll split it. But you know the area, so you picked the spot. Owen and I smiled and nodded. Then Owen's phone chimed. He looked down at it. Then he held it up for us. Guys, are you in the class group chat? The advisor made one. It says, our assistant advisor is Chloe Bennett. You know who Chloe is, right? Marcus reacted first. No way. Seriously? Chloe's our assistant advisor? I raised an eyebrow. The information I'd looked into told me Chloe was popular at Fairmont. But I didn't realize she was this popular. Daniel read the chat and sighed. What a shame. Fairmont's top campus beauty, our Chloe, is still hung up on an ex who died 3 years ago. Otherwise, with her being our assistant advisor, I'd definitely shoot my shot. My heart skipped. I looked up and asked, an ex from 3 years ago. Chloe had a boyfriend 3 years ago? Daniel nodded eagerly, full of gossip. From what I've heard, Chloe's ex was her freshman year high school desk mate, but he died in an accident. Too bad. If they'd broken up, that'd be different. But the guy's dead. I figure Chloe will never forget that high school ex. I froze. Her freshman year desk mate? Wasn't I Chloe's desk mate that year? Since when did I become her ex-boyfriend? I admit I did have feelings for her back then. But before I could act on them, I was taken away for research. What happened while I was gone? No, I had to ask her. So I shot up from my chair. The other three immediately looked over. Third, where are you going all of a sudden? I remembered I still need some supplies. I'm heading to a store near campus. I couldn't exactly tell them I was Chloe's supposedly dead ex-boyfriend. The stuff the school gave us isn't enough anyway. I need supplies too. Let's go together. I'm in too. I need to shop as well. Then let's all go. 3 years had passed. One more day wouldn't hurt. Check-in had started in the afternoon. After the four of us went to stores near campus and stocked up on everything we needed for the dorm. By the time we got back and put everything away, it was after 7. Once we'd all cleaned up, Daniel looked at us. Guys, the timing's perfect. Let's explore the area and grab a late-night bite. Sounds good. Let me dry my hair first. And don't say I didn't warn you guys. Whatever else you say about Fairmont, we've got way more pretty girls than Rivwharton. Clean up nice and one of them might notice you. Marcus's eyes lit up. Dude, why didn't you say so? I'm changing outfits. Owen perked up and called to Daniel. Second, I'm terrible at doing my hair. Style mine for me too. My mouth twitched, but I couldn't help smiling. Maybe this was what being young felt like. I checked my reflection in my dark phone screen. Still handsome. No worries. Meanwhile, Natalie walked over to Chloe in the women's dorm. Chloe, what are we eating tonight? Let's hit the dining hall. That new dish downstairs, braised pork with tofu skin, is pretty good. The dining hall on our first day back? We've worked all day. Let's check out Lantern Row and find something good. We can grab some fruit too. Chloe rolled her eyes at her. You just want to scope out the new freshman. Chloe turned to her other two roommates. You two want to come? They nodded, and Chloe glanced at Natalie. After a whole summer, it's been forever since all four of us went out. Let's go then. Soon, the 4 guys from room 319 were ready. They hurried out of the men's dorm and headed straight for Lantern Row. At almost the same time, Chloe and her roommates left their dorm and arrived at Lantern Row. Daniel looked at us with his hands in his pockets. Guys, Lantern Row is Fairmont's famous food street. The barbecue joints here are all good. You pick. Marcus and Owen exchanged a look, then turned to me. Third, which one? I casually scanned the nearby barbecue joints. I pointed to the closest one. This place. Daniel hurried ahead to lead the way. Come on, guys. Meanwhile, Natalie linked arms with Chloe. After looking around, she turned to Chloe and the other two. All right, girls. Where should we eat? The other two said anywhere was fine. Natalie looked at Chloe. Chloe casually looked up and swept her gaze around. Suddenly, her whole body trembled. Outside a barbecue joint, I stood beside Marcus and the others and disappeared inside. Chloe's mind went completely blank. She stared at the place I'd entered, holding her breath, unable to move. He looked so much like him. This wasn't just a silhouette. She thought she'd truly seen a guy who looked almost exactly like Ethan. For a moment, Chloe felt like she couldn't breathe. Natalie shook Chloe's arm. Chloe, why are you spacing out? Chloe finally snapped back and looked at them. Let's get barbecue. Barbecue and cold drinks are perfect in summer. The others had no objections. Chloe led Natalie and the others toward the barbecue joint I'd entered. Her heart raced faster with every step. Could two people really look exactly alike? Or maybe, at that moment, Chloe's heart, dead for 3 years, had somehow begun beating again. Call it false hope or wishful thinking. Either way, she had to meet the guy who looked exactly like the Ethan she remembered. Meanwhile, Daniel and the others found a private room and sat down. I skimmed the menu and looked at them. I'm hitting the restroom. Order whatever you want. Chloe, Natalie, and the others also entered the restaurant. They took a table in the corner. After asking for a menu, Chloe looked at them. Order whatever you want. I think I saw someone I know. I'm going to find him. Who? Some cute guy? Oh, stop. Just order. She stood there and scanned the restaurant. When she saw only strangers, disappointment crossed her face. Then she took a deep breath and began opening each private room door. Each time she failed to find that familiar face, she walked back out dejected. Finally, Chloe opened the door to Daniel's private room. Daniel and the other two stared wide-eyed when she entered. Hi, Chloe. Chloe gave them an awkward smile. Then she noticed for place settings and grew curious. There's someone else with you? Our third roommate's in the restroom. Chloe nodded apologetically. Sorry. I thought I saw someone I knew. Wrong room. She quickly backed out. But when she turned, she saw a guy. In a white t-shirt from behind. At that moment, Chloe's heart started pounding. She took a deep breath and slowly approached him. Then she tapped his shoulder. The guy quickly turned around. His eyes lit up when he saw Chloe. Chloe, did you need something? Chloe's expression froze. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. I'm so sorry. Chloe apologized repeatedly. Then she returned to Natalie and the others, looking crushed. What happened? You came back looking like you saw a ghost. Nothing. It's our first barbecue together this semester. Cheers. I'm going first. Chloe filled her glass to the brim. She tipped her head back and down the whole thing. Meanwhile, I came out of the restroom. Without looking toward the dining area, I went straight back into our private room. The table was already covered with ice-cold drinks. Marcus, Owen, and Daniel grinned when I entered. Third, what took you so long? We've all been waiting. Come on. Here's to 4 guys from all over ending up together. I sat down and raised my glass without hesitation. Over half an hour later, after plenty of food and drinks, Daniel raised his glass with a grin. Guys, Chloe Bennett is eating here too. Should we go toast her? She'll be our assistant advisor during military training. Chloe came in here? You were in the restroom. She probably had the wrong room, so she stepped in for a moment. When I went to the restroom, I saw her, still drinking with her roommates. Yeah, I saw her too. I've got to say, Chloe really is Fairmont's campus queen. She can seriously put the drinks away. I frowned. Drinking? I remembered Chloe never used to touch the stuff. Scrape. A chair scraped across the floor. As I shot to my feet, the others immediately looked at me. Third, where are you going? I'll be right back. Keep drinking. I opened the door and walked into the dining area. I quickly spotted Chloe, still knocking back drinks. At the table, Natalie and the other 2 roommates watched her anxiously. Chloe, stop. You've had too much. Chloe's eyes were unfocused. Her hand shook as she raised her glass, and her face was bright red. I'm fine. Just one last glass, then I'm done. Then a face suddenly appeared before her. The face she'd dreamed of for years. Her vision was blurry, but Chloe was sure it was me. I snatched the glass from her hand and downed it. That's enough. Natalie stared at me in shock. Oh, it's you, freshman. Hi. How much has she had? Natalie pointed to 7 or 8 bottles on the floor. Our campus queen drank all of those. She's wasted. Chloe looked up, her reddened eyes suddenly streaming with tears. I'm not drunk. Ethan, is that you? Ethan, you finally came back. Chloe wrapped her arms tightly around me. I promise I'll never fight with you again. Just don't disappear again. Okay? My expression conflicted. I gently patted Chloe's trembling shoulder and looked at Natalie. Which dorm are you in? I'll help you get her back. Natalie froze, then grew excited. Yes, please. We can't carry her, so we'd appreciate it. No problem. I slipped an arm around Chloe's waist and swept her off the chair into my arms. Then I carried her steadily out of the restaurant. Marcus and the others peeked out of the private room. They stood there stunned as I carried Chloe away. It had happened so fast. They'd just been debating whether to go toast Chloe. Meanwhile, I just picked her up and left. What was going on? Chloe's other 2 roommates were just as confused. During her first year of college, Chloe had been pursued by rich heirs with luxury cars and young entrepreneurs, but without exception, she'd rejected them all. She wasn't interested in any guy on campus. So why had she thrown herself at this freshman? Natalie was surprised, too. From what she'd seen, there had to be a juicy story between them. But as far as she knew, Chloe had only ever had a history with one guy, the boyfriend who'd been dead for 3 years. Could Ethan? At that thought, Natalie shuddered. Had the guy actually respawned? But she had no time to dwell on it. She hurried to the register, paid the bill, and followed me out with the other 2. Outside, plenty of Fairmont students filled the street. The moment I carried Chloe out, we drew everyone's attention. Girl, look, he's carrying her bridal style. Are they filming a romance show? He's so hot. And those legs. I wish I were the girl in his arms. Girls gasped and covered their mouths, while some sharp-eyed guys recognized Chloe in my arms and cried out, Holy crap, isn't that sophomore Chloe Bennett? Put down my goddess. I'll carry her. Chloe opened her eyes groggily and stared at my face inches from hers. She wrapped both arms around my neck and clung to me like a koala. Her warm breath brushed me as she whispered, Ethan, is it really you? You finally came back. Promise you'll never leave again. Okay? I swear I'll never fight with you again. I looked down helplessly at Chloe, with affection filling my eyes. I promise I'll never leave you again. Okay? Chloe immediately smiled. She whined like a spoiled child. You promised, so you can never leave again. Whoever disappears without a word again is a puppy. Promise. Whoever disappears again is a puppy. At last, Chloe settled down. She curled up in my arms and drifted off. I turned to Natalie beside me. Does she always get like this after drinking? Natalie shook her head. No, never. Our dorm goes out for drinks sometimes, but Chloe always knows her limit. She's never gotten drunk. This is actually our first time seeing her drunk. Who knew someone usually so aloof would turn into a little kid after a few drinks? The other two girls nodded, and so did I. Then I looked at the three of them, holding up their phones. Are you recording us? Natalie froze, then smiled awkwardly, preserving a beautiful memory. We're just recording what she's like drunk. We'll show her tomorrow, so she can remember what happened tonight. Fine, just make sure I look good. You got it. A few steps later, Natalie looked at me curiously. Hey, freshman, are you the ex-boyfriend she said had been dead for 3 years? I thought for a few seconds. Unless there's some mistake, I guess that's me. The girls looked confused. But she said you. I cut Natalie off and looked at Chloe in my arms. You mean she said I'd been dead for 3 years? I'd also love to know why she thinks that. Natalie led me to the women's dorm, with Chloe still in my arms. There I carefully set her down. I looked at Natalie and the others. Ladies, once she's inside, please look after her tonight. No problem. Together they helped Chloe stand, and slowly walked her into the dorm. I waited until they disappeared from sight, then left the entrance. When I returned to the restaurant, Marcus and the others were still sitting in the private room. The moment I entered, all three stood up. One pulled out my chair, another cleared a spot on the table, and the third brought me hot skewers and a drink. After pushing me into the chair, they returned to their seats in a row. They stared at me like interrogators hungry for gossip. Third, start talking. What's going on? It's only your first day here, and without saying a word, you landed Fairmont's hottest girl. I gave them a helpless look. I didn't land anyone. We knew each other in high school. You said she was outside, so I went to say hi. She was drunk, so I took her back to her dorm. Marcus rolled his eyes. Can you say that with a straight face? Third, we're not blind. You carry every regular friend home bridal style? Were her roommates just decorations? Besides, I saw it clearly. Chloe threw herself into your arms. Owen's eyes lit up. Third, are you the ex Chloe said had been dead for 3 years? You two broke up 3 years ago, and you broke her heart so badly that love turned to hate. That's why she tells everyone you're dead. Back in the Fairmont dorm, Marcus, Owen, and Daniel crowded around Ethan, buzzing with excitement. Third, I get it now. You did her dirty. Did you use Chloe and then dump her? Is that why she says you're dead? Damn. If that's true, then during the next 2 weeks of military training, with Fairmont's campus queen as our assistant advisor, she's gonna make our lives hell. Owen patted my shoulder, looking worried. You need to sort this out. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Quit making stuff up. I never did her wrong, and we were never a couple. As far as I know, she never dated in high school. I get it. So that ex who died 3 years ago was made up by Chloe. She used a fake ex as a shield. So does that mean I've got a shot? Marcus rolled his eyes at Daniel. Get out of here. Stop dreaming. My sixth sense says. Third and our campus queen definitely have some hidden history. In an instant, all three guys turned back to Ethan. Marcus clasped his hands, eyes full of hope. Bro, spill the tea. I sighed and looked at them honestly. We never dated and I never dumped her. We were just classmates. Humph. So you never liked her at all? I went quiet for a moment. Meanwhile, at a major aerospace engine research base in the northern frontier, the conference room was tense. A man barely in his 70s, with a full head of white hair, wore a lab coat, and stared at stacks of top-secret blueprints. He looked completely overwhelmed. This was Professor Shaw, the man I'd spoken to earlier. Charles Ward, vice president of the National Academy of Sciences, stood at the front of the room. He looked gravely at the researchers below. His tone was stern. Everyone, about this failed test flight. Any thoughts? Have we found the problem? The results are in. There were several issues. First, the turbine blades. Their precision is still slightly off. And then, everyone listened quietly until the report ended. Charles snorted and slammed the report onto the table. Forget everything else for now. How many times have we tested those turbine blades? And they still don't meet spec. What the hell are those material suppliers doing? Do they expect us to redo the design? Other research bases launched at the same time have already built 5th-gen transport engines. Others have produced drones and missiles of all kinds. But their aerospace combat engine project has taken a full decade only to end up like this in flight testing. Martin looked up at Charles, certain of himself. Chief Engineer Ward, I know someone who may be able to fix this. He meant me. During the lithography project, the research complex ran into plenty of problems. But whenever they reached me, I solved them fast. In a way, among the researchers who'd worked on the lithography design, I'd become almost legendary. He'd also discussed with me before the design of aerospace combat engines. I had quite a few original ideas on the subject. He believed I could solve it if I came. Charles immediately turned to Martin. Hope flickered in his eyes. Who do you think can solve this? Martin answered solemnly. Ethan Hayes. The moment he said it, everyone in the room began whispering. Who is Ethan Hayes? What field is he in? I've never heard that name in China. Is there an aerospace expert named Ethan Hayes? Chief Engineer Ward is the Academy's vice president. Even he's not sure he can fix it. Can this Ethan Hayes really help us? Whether it was their research projects, or the ones I led, they were all top secret, and my identity was classified at the highest level, so almost no one there knew my name. Charles's expression shifted as he looked at Martin. The Ethan you mean? Was he the chief designer from that project? As the Academy's vice president, Charles was well informed. Especially when they nominated me for senior academician, the Academy's senior members had held a meeting. He knew something of what I'd done. That's him. Can you get him here? Last I heard, that kid was off doing something pointless. Going to Fairmont University. Exactly. Something pointless. Those old men knew plenty about my talent. In just 3 years I had built from scratch a 1-nanometer lithography system, pushing China's chip industry to the top of the world. With talent like that, he wanted to keep me at the research complex 24/7. I can't promise anything, but I can try. Then try. Besides, I'd like to meet this interesting kid. We're getting old. China's future research will belong to the young eventually. The next morning, back in the dorm, I packed my clothes while speaking to Martin on the phone. No problem. I'll book the earliest flight. I should be there tonight. Ethan hung up. Marcus had just gotten up and scratched the back of his head sleepily. He looked at Ethan packing, confused. Third, why are you packing so early? There's something going on at home. I need to go back. Martin had just called me. He wanted me to consult on a 7th-gen aerospace combat engine. I wasn't required to do this, but I understood. Once I chose research, my life stopped being mine alone. Just like a few months ago, when I signed that pledge at the research complex. I will dedicate myself to scientific research, serve my country through knowledge and technology, and devote my life to that cause. Some things have to be done. Marcus woke right up, eyes wide. Go home? Damn, you're skipping military training? I've already cleared it with the school. Marcus nodded like he sort of understood, then asked, you can skip it just like that? How long will you be gone? Maybe a week if it goes fast. If not, I'll be back when your training ends. I'm only going to consult. I won't be part of the main research. 2 weeks, max. Dude, are you just dodging military training? And did you tell Chloe before taking off? My hands froze mid-pack. Meanwhile, in the women's dorm, early sunlight streamed through the window. Onto the floor, Chloe rubbed her aching forehead. She stretched and asked Natalie, who was already up. Natalie, what time is it? 7. Still early. Chloe quickly climbed out of bed. Still groggy, she rubbed her eyes. I'm up. Did I get drunk last night? I vaguely remember hugging someone. Natalie laughed. Oh, I thought you blacked out. Natalie pulled out her phone and opened last night's video. Want Big Sis to refresh your memory? Come on, roll the footage. You're unbelievable. Natalie held the phone out to Chloe. Look for yourself. Remember the guy carrying you? Chloe grabbed the phone. The second she saw the screen, she froze. The video showed me carrying her back to campus. It even caught what I'd said. Make me look good. Memories came flooding back. Tears quickly streamed from Chloe's eyes, as though she feared I might vanish again. After watching the video, Chloe stared wide-eyed at Natalie. She urgently asked, Natalie, how do you know Ethan? Where is he? He's a freshman in our department. He showed up after you got drunk last night. Then you threw yourself at him and he carried you back. Chloe, is he the one you said was your boyfriend who died 3 years ago? I'm going to find him. Chloe had no time to answer. She got dressed fast and rushed out. Natalie called after her. Hey, you're in such a rush. Do you even know where he lives? There weren't many people around the men's dorm. I was walking slowly down the path outside, heading to the dining hall for breakfast. Then Chloe's trembling voice reached my ears. Ethan, Ethan. I looked up sharply. Chloe had already wiped away her tears. She stopped before me and just looked at me. 3 years had passed, but I barely looked different, though I'd gotten quite a bit taller. The boyishness in my eyes was gone, replaced by maturity, but my air hadn't changed. Chloe used to say I acted old for my age, like some old scholar. She found my serious way of talking funny. I still had that scholarly air. Even in plain clothes, I still looked refined. Chloe had already seen me in the video, But seeing me face to face, she felt her heart nearly stop. A heavy silence fell between us. Neither of us spoke first. She felt more confused, curious, and angry than anything. She hated that I'd left without a word. Even if we'd never been together, friends still deserved a goodbye. I stood frozen too, staring at Chloe for a long time. She looked almost exactly as she had 3 years ago, still just as beautiful. When I left the research complex, I'd imagined all sorts of ways to greet Chloe. It's been 3 years. Do you have a boyfriend? Have you been okay? Congratulations. You got into Fairmont University. But now I had no idea how to face her. 3 years ago, I inherited something from an advanced civilization, the Eternal Archive. With what I knew then, I couldn't yet understand the Eternal Archive, but it existed deep in my mind. And by studying its contents, I developed 1 nanometer lithography. That was just low-level technology from the archive. Because of that 1 nanometer lithography, I'd submitted it to the country to see what would happen. That led to my disappearance 3 years ago. We stared at each other for seconds. In those few seconds, every little memory from high school came back to us. Getting called up together to solve problems as our classmates teased us. Cheering each other through the 1500 at the school meet. Sneaking spicy snacks in class. And crimson sunsets under the evening sky. Each of us was written into the other's youth. But sadly, Chloe never took my dirty hand after a basketball game. And I never smoothed Chloe's windblown hair. After hesitating for a long time, I finally looked up. I heard I was dead. Chloe's eyes instantly turned red. It was like 1,000 words were stuck in her throat. She clenched her teeth. Yeah, Ethan, weren't you dead? Why did you come back? For 3 whole years, Chloe truly believed I was dead. Yet there I was, standing before her. My words caught in my throat. I wanted to explain what happened over those 3 years, why I left and what I was doing. But with my current status, I couldn't tell her. All those explanations were forced back down. What I'd done these past 3 years, even the people closest to me could never know. Even my contributions might only be made public after I died. In the end, I only said softly, "Anyway, it's been a long time." Chloe's face went cold. "I didn't want to see you. I only came to make sure you weren't dead. Now I know you're alive, so I'm leaving." Chloe turned to leave. I called after her. "Chloe." Chloe stopped, her voice cold. "What?" "I just wanted to say I didn't break our promise." Chloe gave a cold laugh, holding back her anger. "Our promise? Ethan, what exactly are we? Who do you think you are? You leave whenever you want, then show up whenever you want. For 3 years, I sent you so many messages. You never answered a single one. For no reason, you just vanished off the face of the earth. Did that make you feel so cool? So proud? Did it? Did you think it'd make me remember you forever? Didn't you disappear? Then why did you come back?" Chloe nearly screamed the last words. It was like she wanted to pour out 3 years of pain, hurt, and resentment. At first, Chloe still had hope. Maybe I was playing some awful prank and had vanished for the summer. She'd thought that once she found me, she'd give me hell. But she gave up. For 3 years, there wasn't a word from me. She'd started to feel like she was forgetting the things we'd shared 3 years ago. And now I'd suddenly appeared again. Her words left me speechless. What could I say? I'd given my life to my country. I had little left to give her. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left without saying goodbye. I left too suddenly. I didn't know how to tell you I was leaving. The research project I joined was a state secret. Even my parents only knew I'd been specially recruited to study somewhere classified. I'd never regret serving my country. But I owed Chloe an apology." Chloe cut me off. You don't owe me an apology. We're nothing to each other. Leave if you want. Stay if you want. Whatever you do has nothing to do with me." I looked at Chloe apologetically. "I'm leaving. There's an emergency at home, and I need to be gone a while. But I'll be back by the end of military training at the latest." Chloe tensed up and instinctively asked, "What happened?" Then Chloe's face went cold again. "Leave if you want. It's not like I'm anyone to you. You don't need to explain yourself to me, even though I'd already cleared it with the school. But you're still our class's assistant advisor. A freshman skipping military training should at least tell his advisor, right? Besides, to me, you're much more than just my advisor." Chloe huffed, then tried to play it cool. "I don't know what you're talking about. Anything else? If not, I'm leaving. That's all. This time I didn't leave without telling you, right? I don't want to be a puppy." Chloe instantly remembered what she'd said while drunk last night. She blushed and glared at me. "Whatever. If there's an emergency, just go. You're so annoying." With that, Chloe quickly turned and left. I stayed there, watching her run away. A smile slowly spread across my face. Back in her dorm, Chloe thought for a long time, then angrily scolded herself. "Chloe Bennett, get a grip. Stop going soft the second you see him. He vanished for 3 years. Did he ever consider your feelings? And you're worried about his family? Chloe took a few deep breaths and calmed down. Then she made up her mind. She wouldn't let those 3 years slide. I knew none of this because by then, I'd stepped into the elevator to the departure lounge. Then someone shouted at everyone inside. Everyone out. Hurry up. I looked outside the elevator. A male celebrity stood amid the huge crowd, with fans snapping pictures. Couldn't help but sneer. You have a big group. Wait for the next one. Do you own this airport? The celebrity's assistant scowled. What's that supposed to mean? Do you know how packed Leo's schedule is? Don't you know? Our flight's about to board. Get out. I remained unfazed. How is your flight our problem? Everyone in here has somewhere to be. Do celebrities get special treatment? Hearing that, some of the rabid fans around the celebrity started shouting. Are they as busy as Leo? He's one of China's biggest stars. His schedule is packed every day. Why can't you let Leo go first? What's wrong with you? You should be honored to give Leo the elevator. Move already. What are you waiting for? If Leo misses his flight, can any of you take responsibility? The celebrity looked annoyed too. 2.5 years of fame in China had spoiled him rotten. Taking over an elevator was nothing. Even when he arrived 2.5 hours late to a shoot, the entire crew had to wait. Leo scoffed inwardly, but his celebrity instincts made him careful about appearances. If he went too far, the public could easily turn on him. A smile appeared on his face. He waved off his assistant and guards, then smiled at me. It's fine. I'm in a hurry, but you can go first. Everyone's busy. My mouth twitched in disbelief. We'd wasted enough time for the elevator to make a round trip. But his rabid fans gushed about how classy Leo was. While pointing at me, I shook my head helplessly. I ignored the celebrity and pressed the close button. What I didn't know was that, because I hadn't stepped aside, Leo planned to turn his fans against me. Soon after I left, Leo smiled at his fans, a cold glint in his eyes. All right, calm down. It was just a minor incident. Please don't post it online. We need to go. Everyone, head home. His assistant caught on and smiled at the crowd. Everyone, please leave. And remember, don't spread this online. Seriously, don't. But despite his words, he was already planning how to use the controversy for publicity once it blew up online. The fans hadn't even considered posting it. But after that hint, Leo's fan groups instantly exploded. Leo was their whole world. Someone had bullied their idol. To them, that was worse than killing their own parents. Within minutes, Leo's rabid fans began posting online. Out-of-context clips and calls to attack me appeared alongside posts digging into my identity. They flooded the internet all at once. There was even a post titled, "Come out and apologize to Leo. Our idol deserves respect." His rabid fans pushed it straight onto the trending list. As a result, some of my information was posted online. Most of the critical data was protected by top-level encryption. Without extremely high clearance, no one could access it. Even so, my photo was leaked online. My profile also noted that no records could be found for Ethan Hayes during those 3 years. After the leak, countless rabid Leo fans immediately launched online attacks. Is Fairmont University that easy to get into now? Do they let just anyone enroll? There's no record of his college entrance exam. There's no record of him entering any major international competitions either. So how did someone like him get into Fairmont? The authorities need to investigate. Some fans were reasonable, but the rabid ones controlled the narrative. Public opinion sided with Leo from the start, turning me into the internet's public enemy. Meanwhile, in a women's dorm at Fairmont, Natalie had been casually scrolling through videos. When she saw the rapidly trending story, she immediately called Chloe over. "Chloe, look, isn't this your freshman? Everyone online is trashing him." Chloe paused, then grabbed Natalie's phone and scrolled through it. She was speechless. Are these fans idiots? She pulled out her own phone and went straight to the trending post to fight back. Do celebrities think they're above everyone else? He didn't give up an elevator. Was Leo rushing to his own funeral? Seeing Chloe so worked up, Natalie couldn't help laughing. Chloe, who said she was done with Ethan? Looks like you still have feelings for him. I'm defending what's right, not him. If anyone else were treated this way, I'd do the same. But she soon realized her comment had been buried under hateful replies. Chloe, this is bad. Leo's rabid fans clearly won't let your freshman off. He's in serious trouble. At that same moment, in a secure office, red warning lights suddenly flashed. An employee reported nervously, "Remove the trend now. Numerous users are exposing the identity of a top-level classified asset. There's a risk of a security breach. Countermeasures are ready. We're awaiting orders." When National Security Director George Mercer saw the report, he flew into a rage. What the hell are you people doing? Have every piece of information about Ethan online taken down and investigate this immediately. Find out if any foreign intelligence groups are fueling it. You have 10 minutes. If he suffers any harm from this, every one of you will answer for it. China can survive without me as head of the National Security Directorate, but Chinese science cannot afford to lose him. As one of China's greatest scientific minds, my file had long been monitored by the National Security Directorate. Any person or agency trying to access my records would instantly trigger an alert. But George never expected that this time it wasn't one person investigating me. Countless reckless users were spreading my information online. After reviewing the airport elevator footage, George cursed through clenched teeth. Celebrities are getting more outrageous by the day. Acting like a diva is bad enough. He should have watched who he picked on. Does he even know who he tried to push around? He wanted China's soon-to-be youngest academician to give him an elevator. Who does he think he is? The moment he finished speaking, his phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, his heart sank. Ethan's protector was calling. It was Arthur Vaughan from the National Academy of Sciences. They might be old men, but when it came to protecting their own, every one of them was formidable. George took a deep breath and answered nervously. Arthur immediately tore into him. George Mercer, what kind of national security director are you? This mess is all over the internet. And you think your agency isn't responsible? Listen to me. If Ethan's identity is exposed, I'll march into your office and raise hell myself. Mr. Vaughan, please calm down. I've already assigned people to handle it. 10 minutes. Everything will be gone within 10 minutes. What about the celebrity? I'll summon the relevant cultural affairs officials immediately. Rest assured, I'll give you and every researcher at the National Academy of Sciences a proper answer. Fine. I'll wait for your report. Arthur hung up. George took a deep breath and sat in his office, seething. Then he picked up his desk phone. Notify the head of the Cultural Affairs Directorate. He has 30 minutes to get to my office. Otherwise, I'll go to the Cultural Affairs Directorate myself. Meanwhile, in the airport lounge, I got a call from Arthur. Ethan, stay out of this. Let this old man handle it. Just wait for your flight. Don't let this distract you. You'll have a satisfactory answer within a day. I hadn't thought much of it. But then, several heavily dressed up girls approached me, with contempt in their eyes. So you're Ethan? You're pretty handsome. Weren't you in a hurry? Why are you still waiting here? You're just sitting around. You saw how famous Leo is, and wanted to use him for clout, didn't you? You want fame? We'll make you famous. One of the girls dumped a whole bottle of water over me. Before I could react, I was soaked. Airport security saw what happened, and rushed over shouting, "Hey, what are you doing?" The girls exchanged a look and ran off. Just as I finished wiping off the water, my phone screen lit up. From her dorm, a worried Chloe had quietly texted me, "Are you okay?" My foul mood instantly lifted. But just as I was about to reply to stubborn Chloe, Marcus called me. What he said made me furious. Chloe and her roommates had been defending me online. Someone exposed that Chloe and I had been desk mates in high school, and posted her photo online. Now Leo's fans were attacking her. From the start, I treated those rabid fans with tolerance and indifference. But now I'd had enough. I took a deep breath and looked down at Chloe's message, my heart aching. She was being torn apart online, yet she was still worried about me. What a fool. After a moment, I called her. She answered quickly and spoke first, worry in her voice. Ethan, how are things at the airport? Are you okay? I heard Leo's fans are insane. They didn't hurt you, did they? I'm fine. Stay out of this for now. Let me handle it. Okay? Stay in your dorm. And stay offline. Put on a fun movie. By the time it ends, this will be over. But Chloe grew emotional. By the end, her voice was breaking. How can you fix this? The whole internet is attacking you. How can you handle that alone? She regretted it. If she hadn't stayed behind out of spite and had come to see me off, maybe none of this would have happened. To change the subject, I smiled. Chloe, if you're this worried, does that mean you've forgiven me? Not a chance, Ethan. These are separate issues. I defended you only because they went too far. That's all. Don't read into it. Give up that idea. I will never forgive you. But in her heart, she added, at least not that easily. She was hopeless. We hadn't spoken in 3 years. Yet the moment I returned, her heart surrendered. No matter how harshly she spoke or how angry she was, one look at Ethan made all her pain disappear. From the moment I saw Chloe again, I knew she was still the same girl. She was just too stubborn to admit it. Thankfully, we hadn't missed our chance. I smiled, then spoke seriously. We have plenty of time. Once I finish dealing with things at home, I'll properly beg for your forgiveness. Whatever. I'm hanging up. Chloe hung up and took several quick breaths. She fanned her flushed cheeks with her hand. Natalie asked with a wicked grin. What, done crying? After the fans exposed Chloe's identity, countless vicious messages flooded her phone. She might seem aloof, but deep down, she was still only 19. Chloe quickly shook her head and picked up her phone again. She became a keyboard warrior for justice and started commenting again. After hanging up with Chloe, I took a secure phone from my suitcase and dialed a number. This is Ethan Hayes, secure IDS 17171. Connect me with National Security Director George Mercer. Once connected, George hurriedly said, Academician Hayes, I'm deeply sorry. Rest assured, your identity will remain secure. Everyone involved will be thoroughly investigated by the National Security Directorate. Thank you, Director Mercer. But I have one more request. The Fairmont student who defended me, I don't want this incident affecting her anymore. No trouble at all. That's our job. But Academician Hayes, may I ask something personal? Is Chloe Bennett, the student online, your girlfriend? If so, the National Security Directorate can make arrangements. For the families of top researchers, the Directorate has a full security program. My parents were one example. The moment I entered the research complex 3 years ago, they were moved into secured family housing in Fairmont. They were protected whenever they went out. I paused, then answered after a few seconds, Not yet. Understood. Don't worry. I'll make the arrangements. George nodded repeatedly, then hung up. He kept muttering under his breath. So that's why that kid suddenly enrolled at Fairmont. He went there for his girlfriend. Now that's more like a young man. But then he frowned. The trending topic was still climbing. What's going on? Haven't we started deleting comments? Why is it still trending this hard? Leo has too many fans. We can't delete them fast enough. We delete one batch and another pops up. What did their person in charge say? If they don't bury this trend, do they want me to invite their boss to the National Security Directorate for a chat? Their director isn't answering. But I called a friend who works there. He said plenty of investors are backing Leo on this. They want to use this to boost Leo again. His commercial value is still high. I don't care who's backing Leo. Get the tech department on it. Shut down every server they have. Ban every account posting harmful content. Bring every one of those investors to the National Security Directorate. We'll see whose boot is bigger, theirs or my size 15. Notify the other agencies. Within 2 minutes, every post about Ethan must be gone. Meanwhile, in the first-class lounge, Leo lounged in a luxury massage chair. He watched the online fight explode. His eyes were full of scorn and smug satisfaction. You're just some nobody. You think you can take me on? I can make you regret it with one finger. His assistant laughed and started flattering him. Leo, your fans really came through. It's been less than half an hour, and the topic's almost #1. Your visibility just went way up. Just as they celebrated, they had no idea prison was right around the corner. Back at the National Security Directorate, George Mercer grabbed the files off his desk and threw them at the Cultural Affairs Director. In just 10 minutes, the trend was taken down. There was no trace of Ethan left online. Leo saw it and cried out, What happened? His assistant hurriedly called an executive at the platform. The executive exploded the second he answered. Listen, we're in deep trouble. For old time's sake, here's my advice. Run, or cooperate when they come for you. Do you know how badly Leo's stunt screwed us? At that moment, the Cultural Affairs Director called Leo's agency directly. He roared into the phone. I'm calling to notify you. Every artist under your agency has every unreleased project suspended. Don't bring them to me for approval. If I approve one, I'll take your last name. And every celebrity at your company who defended Leo online is blacklisted. Especially Leo, though you don't need to worry about him. He's finished. And before 9 tonight, bring your company's executives to the Cultural Affairs Directorate. We're going to have a nice group chat. The agency head froze. Then, his secretary rushed in, panicked. Mr. Turner, we have a huge problem. Tax officials are here. They're taking all our financial and tax records. At the airport, Leo and his assistant kept getting cancellation notices. Endorsements canceled, contracts terminated. They still had no idea what was happening. For plainclothes officers approached and showed their badges. Big star, good luck with what's ahead. Leo flew into a rage, but the moment he moved, 2 officers pinned him down. Meanwhile, in Fairmont University's women's dorm, Natalie called excitedly, Chloe, did you see? The authorities stepped in. Your Ethan got really lucky this time. Chloe nodded, then quickly played it cool. I saw it. And let me say this again. Ethan and I seriously have nothing to do with each other. Then her phone rang in her hand. Her face tightened, and she quickly shushed her. Chloe looked nervous. Quiet. Ethan's calling. Natalie instantly smirked. You said you and Ethan are nothing, but the second he calls, you get all nervous. Go on, take a deep breath. Chloe finally answered, forcing her voice to sound casual. Ethan, what is it? Do you need something? I'm about to board, so I wanted to let you know. Chloe nodded thoughtfully, then pouted. We're nothing to each other. Board your plane. What does that have to do with me? You didn't need to call. But she couldn't help asking, did you see what happened online? Leo got arrested. Everything about you vanished from the internet. You got really lucky. The government must be cracking down on the entertainment industry. Yeah. We should thank the government. I didn't explain further. It was better that she believed that. I didn't have to say more. Then the airport announced boarding for the northern frontier. I have to board. I'll come see you when I get back. Oh, and I still want to know, what did you mean by that ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago? My ex-girlfriend. Chloe's cheeks instantly turned red. What ex-boyfriend? I have no idea. Go board. Bye. After hanging up, Chloe panicked. Why did he bring that up? She'd really thought he was dead. How was she supposed to explain it now that he was alive? She couldn't tell him, I liked you so much, so I made you my dead ex-boyfriend. Then she grew puzzled and murmured, passengers bound for the northern frontier. When did Ethan move to the northern frontier? Before she could think it through, Natalie leaned in with a grin. Chloe, do you know what you looked like on that call? Like a little girl in love. Meanwhile, Leo sat blankly in a transport van. He was still holding on to hope. He thought he could still save himself. He turned to an officer beside him, trying to sound charming. Sir, could you hand me my phone? Let me make 2 calls? You can't make calls. Those are the rules. But I can show you what's happening outside. He pulled out his phone. The second Leo saw it, the officer cursed. Wong, pull over. Let me sit up front. This guy just wet himself. Meanwhile, Chloe was back in her dorm thinking about me again. She stared at our call log and muttered through clenched teeth. Ethan hasn't said a word since he left. Did he make it home or not? Natalie walked over with a teasing grin. Chloe, if you still care about him, just text him. No way. I'm gorgeous. It's not like Ethan is the only guy who'd want me. Why should I text him first? Meanwhile, to finish the research as fast as possible, on the aerospace engine, I studied the materials day and night. At 11 that night, I went to Charles Ward's quarters. I handed him my flash drive. President Ward, these are my ideas and design drawings for the aerospace engine. Charles looked through them briefly, and his expression grew grave. The material I'd given him was incredibly detailed. Then my phone suddenly rang. Sorry, Academician Ward. It's fine. At this hour, it's probably that pretty girlfriend of yours. Texting you. Young love, I've been there. Don't mind me. I checked my phone. It was indeed a message from Chloe. Did you get home? Yeah. I'm home. Talking to someone. What's up? Chloe instantly got mad when she saw that. She'd finally swallowed her pride and asked what he was doing. And this jerk said he was talking to someone else. He had time to chat with someone, but not to tell me he got home? So after vanishing for 3 years, we're not even friends now. Back when we shared a desk, even if he went to shower, he'd text me to say so. Men really do change. I was just fooling myself. With a huff, Chloe sent several texts. Bad timing, I guess. I won't interrupt. You talk to them tonight. I'll text tomorrow. That way we won't seem too distant. Sound good? Good night. I'm going to bed. Seeing Chloe's sudden wall of texts, I was completely confused. What was that about? And what was with that tone? Charles quickly asked. Fighting with your girlfriend? When I was courting my wife. I knew exactly how to make her happy. If it's a relationship problem, ask this old man. So one was bold enough to teach, and the other bold enough to learn. Ethan sent Chloe this. Okay, get some sleep. The dorm AC is on in summer, so keep your blanket on. Don't catch a cold. Good night. Sweat to death, you little thing. Chloe's expression froze when she read it. She typed furiously through clenched teeth. Ethan, it's been 3 years since I hit you. You asking for it? I froze. After a few seconds, I texted back. Isn't that what people say online? Chloe was livid. Ethan, are you a caveman? Nearby, Natalie looked over with eager curiosity. Did your Ethan make you mad? Chloe gripped her phone tightly. I've decided. I'm ignoring him for at least 3 days. More like 1 day tops. Charles saw my blank expression and asked, well, did she go to bed happy? Yeah. She went to bed. The next morning, Chloe sat on the field as an assistant advisor. She kept checking her phone. Natalie, beside her, asked, Chloe, are there flowers growing in that phone? You check it every few minutes. What's going on? Chloe pouted, sounding deeply wronged. It's Ethan. This morning, I sent him a good morning text. Now it's almost noon, and he still hasn't replied. I said I'd ignore him for 3 days, but I didn't mean he had to ignore me. I even made a post with a photo from military training, just waiting for him to text me. He could at least ask how training's going. Maybe I'd soften up and reply, I handed him the chance and he blew it. Didn't you say you'd ignore him for 3 days? So he can't text me? Natalie couldn't help pinching Chloe's cheek. Please, Chloe, do you have to be this cute? If he won't text you, don't reply to him. There are plenty of men out there. Find another one. It's not like Ethan's your only option. We'll see. Chloe checked her phone again. Still nothing. That afternoon at the research complex, top experts from dozens of fields gathered together. Other than Derek Stone, most had received transfer orders and been urgently sent to the Northern Frontier Research Complex. They had no idea what was going on. As everyone whispered, Charles finally entered with Ethan and Derek. They walked slowly into the conference room. The experts whispered when they saw me. Some people in the room froze. They knew nothing about my achievements. At the research complex, the youngest researchers were around 30. The older ones were nearly 70 or 80. Everyone held a brief introduction session. The meeting lasted almost 6 hours. It wasn't until after 2 in the morning that I finally finished. I focused on explaining the theory behind a curvature drive system. I also answered questions from the experts. When the meeting ended, thunderous applause erupted. Passionate cheers from the researchers filled the entire room. After saying goodbye to the experts, I went to the secure locker by the door and retrieved my phone. I turned it on as I headed back to the guest quarters. Once it powered on, I saw a message from Chloe. She'd sent it around 11. It was a simple goodnight text. After thinking for a few seconds, I smiled and replied, "Good night, sweet dreams." The next second, Chloe instantly replied, "Well, look at that." Our busy man finally decided to reply. "You woke up?" Chloe gritted her teeth. "Sleep, my ass." Other than that one good morning text, she hadn't sent him a single extra message all day. It had been driving her crazy. She sent good night hoping I'd text her. And she'd waited and waited until now. Chloe took a deep breath. After quickly calming herself, she slowly replied, "Couldn't sleep. I was chatting with my roommate. Problem? No problem. So when are you going to sleep?" "No idea. Things at home keeping you that busy? So busy you couldn't spare 1 second to text me all day?" I spent the morning refining the materials. In the afternoon, I met with experts. Then I had to run a meeting tonight. I was busy. That's nice. Chloe thought, if you're so busy, then just don't text me at all. Go focus on your important work. But in the end, she didn't send what she was really thinking. Instead, she asked, "You made me so mad last time, I never got to ask. Ethan, you disappeared without a word for 3 years. Don't you owe me an explanation?" But after thinking it over, she realized asking that might be a little too eager. So she added, "Of course, if you don't think you need to explain, that's fine. It's not like we're anything to each other. You jerk. Ethan, you vanished for 3 years. The fact that I'm even texting you nicely means you're lucky. You'd better explain yourself. Why you left without saying goodbye 3 years ago. Chloe, can we not talk about this?" Chloe was so mad she wanted to smash her bed. But she calmed herself and quickly replied, "Oh, fine. Then that's it. I'm going to sleep. Are you mad?" Chloe's lips curled. Maybe this blockhead wasn't totally hopeless. "No, I wouldn't dare get mad at you, Mr. Busy. What if you get mad and pull another one of those 3 years ago disappearing X? It won't happen again. I had a real reason 3 years ago, but I promise I'll never leave without saying goodbye again. I'm nobody to you. You don't have to tell me that. Aren't we good friends? Just friends? Couldn't we be something more?" After a moment, Chloe rubbed her forehead helplessly. "He's hopeless. Completely hopeless." She'd spelled it out. How could he still not get it? "Forget it. I'm tired. Get some rest." "Okay, get some sleep. Good night." Over the next few days, we kept this up, chatting on and off. But every time Chloe texted, amid all the nonstop research, it gave me a rare moment to unwind. 10 days later, military training at Fairmont University was almost over. The Northern Frontier Research Complex erupted in applause. For 10 straight days, we'd worked around the clock to build the model before us. If this model ran successfully, it would prove my theory worked. Then today would mark a new era. I never thought I'd live to see a curvature drive become possible. It's incredible. If the model completes its run, it'll be a massive leap for propulsion worldwide. This day will go down in history. Chief Engineer Hayes, you've worked incredibly hard. I've never seen anyone push this hard in research. At that, everyone turned toward me. 10 days ago, I'd won them over with my theoretical knowledge. Now, my sheer dedication had earned their respect. I smiled at everyone. Save the praise. Let's prepare for the first ignition test. Ethan, why don't you rest today? We can run the ignition test tomorrow. No, I can keep going. Let's run it now. Charles knew he couldn't change my mind. He sighed and quietly stepped aside. A researcher soon brought over a red ignition button. Chief Engineer Hayes, you do the honors. I took a deep breath and prepared to press it, then turned to Charles. President Ward, why don't you do it? I'm a little nervous. Oh, quit pulling rank on me. You're the chief designer. You do it. Here goes. Do it. I nodded, then solemnly pressed the button. Everyone held their breath. The curvature drive model immediately began running. A massive surge of electricity poured into it. Red lights flashed throughout the complex. A stream of system alerts sounded. Ignition successful. Starting curvature engine chamber. As the final countdown ended, a 110-pound steel ball was dropped into the drive field. Instead of falling straight down the moment it entered the field, it shot forward. It slammed into a massive steel door over 300 feet away. At that sight, everyone finally breathed again. Cheers erupted throughout the complex. We did it. We did it. Curvature drive works. It really works. People hugged each other, crying with joy. Charles's eyes reddened. He'd spent his life working with engines. He'd watched China's fighter engine technology grow from nothing. He'd endured nearly every hardship along the way. More than anyone, he wanted China to lead the world in aerospace. And today he saw it happen. Once the excitement settled, I bowed to everyone. I want to thank you all for your support. I'll leave the rest in your hands. But as I lowered my head, it began feeling heavier. This was bad. I pushed my body too far. I had nothing left. My body began swaying. Charles noticed first and rushed over. Ethan, what's wrong? Since that morning, Charles had sensed something was off with me. But with the curvature drive model nearly complete, I'd forced myself to hold on. Now that the test was over, the adrenaline faded. I smiled bitterly. I was still too weak. It had only been 10 days, and I was already like this. I knew what was happening. I was exhausted. I just didn't know how long I'd be out. Hopefully not long, or Chloe would worry again. With the last of my strength, I glanced at Charles. Sorry to trouble you again. Then my eyes slowly closed. As I collapsed forward, I faintly heard Charles shout toward the door. Quick, get help. Take him to the Northern Frontier Defense Hospital. Over Fairmont University, 4 of China's most advanced fighter jets roared past. Between them, an armed transport plane flew steadily. Students on break looked up at the sky, their faces tense. Holy crap, for fighter escorts? Who's on that transport? Or is it carrying something so critical it needs fighter escorts? What happened? Some students pulled out their phones to film. The usually easygoing instructors shot to their feet. Phones down. No pictures. Delete every photo you took. Amid the instructor's shouts, Chief Instructor Nathan Reed came over the speakers. Everyone breaks over. Put your phones away. No one knew why so many fighters and a transport had deployed together, but something major had clearly happened. Elsewhere in Fairmont, other people had filmed it too. But strangely, their videos either wouldn't upload, or once posted, were deleted within a minute. Chloe looked up at the fighters roaring overhead. For some reason, her heart tightened. Natalie quickly noticed. Chloe, what's wrong? You look pale. I'm fine. I just feel a little sick. I'll be okay after some rest. But Chloe's eyes remained fixed on the jets vanishing into the distance. 3 days later, in a special care ward at Fairmont Defense Hospital, after I was transferred to Fairmont Defense Hospital, the authorities ordered nearly every top specialist there to report immediately. They examined me together with everyone fearing the worst. Only after confirming I was simply exhausted and needed rest did everyone finally relax. Meanwhile, on the field at Fairmont University, Natalie turned to Chloe. Chloe, want some milk tea? No, I'm upset and don't want anything. What's wrong? You've been distracted for 3 days. What's going on? When Chloe snapped back, Natalie asked with a smile, is this about Ryan Pierce? I heard. He plans to confess to you at tonight's freshman gala. Is that what's bothering you? Not really. 3 days ago, I texted him good morning and then he vanished. I've sent him message after message, but he hasn't replied once. Feels like I got dumped again. Back at Fairmont Defense Hospital, while the 2 senior academicians bickered, my fingers twitched on the hospital bed. I slowly opened my eyes and glanced sideways at Charles Ward and Arthur Vaughn. I asked weakly, my phone. Where's my phone? Charles shot up from the couch. Overjoyed, he rushed to my bedside, then shouted outside, Ethan, you're awake. Doctor, get in here. The patient's awake. I looked at them in confusion. I'd only taken a nap. Why were they so excited? Then I repeated myself. Gentlemen, could one of you please get me my phone? Also, how long was I out? Charles nodded and handed me my phone. 3 days. I took it and quickly unlocked the screen. A flood of notifications popped up. They were all from Chloe. Good night. Were you up all night? Where are you, Ethan? Are you disappearing again? Why won't you answer? Ethan, I'm giving you 30 more minutes. If you still don't reply, I'll never speak to you again. Ethan, you jerk. Last chance. Text me back. Ethan, where the hell are you? Ethan, I hate you. Third, urgent news. At our school's freshman gala in 2 days, that sophomore student union vice president plans to confess to Chloe. Are you done dealing with things at home? I swiped over to the class group chat. Everyone, tonight is our school's freshman gala. All students need a ticket to enter the auditorium. Do not lose yours. And to everyone performing for our class, give it your all tonight and make us proud. After quickly reading everything, I looked up and stopped the doctors at the door. Can I be discharged today? Before the doctors could respond, Charles and Arthur both turned to Ethan. Ethan, the doctor told you to rest. Why do you need to leave today? If it's for tonight's awards ceremony, we can have someone pick you up and will you there. Honestly, you should just skip it. The doctor approached me. Mr. Hayes, you can leave today. But can you guarantee you'll regain your strength within half a day? I can. I looked at Arthur and Charles. What's the schedule for the ceremony? It starts at 7 at the National Assembly Hall. Around 7:30, the president will present awards and speak. It ends at 8, followed by dinner at Meridian House State Guesthouse. I checked the freshman gala's time. Started at 8. How long from Meridian House to Fairmont University? It's close. About 10 minutes. Charles looked shocked. Ethan, you're not planning to go back to school, are you? Can you manage in your condition? I'll be fine. Please help me up and order me some food. After I eat, I'll start rehab exercises. Once the awards ceremony ends tonight, I won't join you for dinner. Just have a car ready to take me back to campus. Why do you have to go back today? The doctor said you'd recover in 2 or 3 days. Why not wait? I sighed helplessly. Someone's trying to steal my girl. Inside Fairmont University's auditorium, new and returning students from the School of Economics and Management gathered together. They filled the auditorium row by row. Chloe stood in the backstage lounge. After straightening her outfit, Ryan Pierce walked over with a smile. So, class rep, nervous? Not really. Chloe answered coolly, then sat in her assigned chair and casually checked her phone. Ryan paused, but his resolve only grew stronger. Marcus and the others sat in the auditorium. The 3 roommates whispered among themselves. Third isn't going to be late tonight, right? He said he'd come to the gala. Third replied in the dorm chat. He says he's on the way and will be here in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Good. Whoa, what's going on? Check the class chat. The advisor posted something. The girl performing for our class suddenly got sick and went straight to the infirmary. She probably can't perform. They're asking if anyone can play piano. Can any of you play? Nope, not me. The next second, I replied in the class chat. I can. I'll fill in for her. Then I messaged the dorm chat. How long until our class performs? About half an hour. Okay, almost there. A few minutes later, the black sedan pulled up outside Fairmont University's auditorium. Thanks. I appreciate it. After thanking the driver, I rushed to the entrance. When several student union members at the door saw me, they paused. Then they blocked my way. What school are you with? This is the Economics and Management Freshman Gala. You can't enter without a ticket. I'm in Econ and Management Class 1, but I left my ticket in the dorm. Can you let me through? Freshman, how can you prove you're in our school? Do you have student ID? Yes. I nodded and sent a message, asking Marcus and the others to meet me at the door. Then I opened my photo gallery and pulled up a picture of my student ID. A student union member took my phone and carefully compared the ID photo to my face before saying, Ethan Hayes, right? You look better in person. All right, go in. Thanks. Dude. Third, you're finally back. Where's Chloe? Where else? She's in the backstage lounge. Take me to her. We can't. Backstage is performers only. Wait, we can't, but Ethan can. He's our class's pianist now. Third, I didn't know you played piano. I learned as a kid. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Inside the lounge, Daniel approached the upperclasswoman managing the program. I'm really sorry, but please let us switch pieces. What is going on with your class? You replaced the performer at the last minute, and now you want to change the piece? If every class pulled this, we couldn't even hold the gala. I'm really sorry. The problem is our replacement isn't comfortable with that piece. Please let us switch it. Where's the replacement? Have him talk to me himself. Our third roommate is shy. He's not much of a talker. There he is. Please cut us some slack. The upperclasswoman looked at me, and her eyes lit up. He's the one playing piano? I know A Maiden's Prayer, too. It's about a young girl's hopes and dreams. Is he playing it for his girlfriend? No way, ma'am. From grade school until now, Third hasn't even dated. He's never even held a girl's hand. But, you know, he's a last-minute replacement and didn't prepare. He's just picking a piece he knows well so he won't mess up. I see. Fine, you can change the piece. But I'm taking a risk here, too. In return, you owe me a small favor. Name it. After the gala, I want his contact info. No problem. When we got back, Daniel asked me, "Third, why did you have to pick that piece?" Because I once promised someone I'd play it for her at our high school field day show. But I transferred before the show happened. That person was Chloe Bennett, right? Yeah. Look at you, third. Respect. Half an hour passed quickly. Chloe and Ryan received the revised cue cards, ready to introduce the next act. The moment Chloe saw the name on the card, she froze. Her mind went blank. "Chloe, what's wrong?" Chloe took a deep breath, shook her head, and spoke with a tremble. "Please welcome Ethan Hayes from Economics and Management, Class 1, performing a maiden's prayer." As she finished, student union members backstage moved a piano onto one side of the stage. "All right, Ethan. You're up. Good luck." I nodded and slowly left the backstage lounge, climbing the steps one at a time onto the stage. I looked deeply toward the other side of the stage, at Chloe's expressionless face, then walked before the crowd. After a brief bow, I sat on the piano bench. A spotlight shone directly on me. On the massive screen at the back of the stage, the camera caught my sharp, handsome profile. The girls in the audience immediately cheered. After Ethan took the stage, Marcus, Daniel, and Owen returned to their class seats. On their way back, they overheard the girls whispering around them and were instantly speechless. Then the soft notes from my piano drifted through the auditorium. At the side of the stage, Ryan noticed Chloe's reaction. "Chloe, what's wrong?" "Nothing." When Chloe looked up, her eyes met mine as I looked directly at her. Instinctively, Chloe looked away. I sighed inwardly and slowly looked away, too. I focused on playing until the piece was over. Then I stood and walked to center stage. After bowing to the audience, I looked deeply at Chloe one last time. Only then did I leave the stage. Chloe quickly composed herself and went on stage with Ryan to introduce the next act. Then she told Ryan, "I need to handle something backstage. If I'm not back, introduce the next act on your own." The moment Chloe entered the lounge from the stage, I grabbed her right hand before she even saw me. "Come outside with me." Chloe didn't resist. Expressionless, she let me pull her into the hallway. The second the lounge door shut, Chloe yanked her hand free. She glared at me coldly. "Ethan, are you done? You vanished without a word 3 days ago, and now you're suddenly back. You even performed on stage. Why did you drag me out here? Do you think this is funny? Or did you want to see how miserable I've been?" "Chloe, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to explain it." I couldn't exactly tell her I'd been unconscious in a hospital for 3 days. "What, Ethan? I'll admit it. I liked you in high school. When I learned you weren't dead at the start of school, I was happy because I still had feelings for you. That's why I ran to the men's dorm so early to wait for you. But that doesn't give you the right to keep playing with me. Last time you vanished, I didn't ask why. But now you've disappeared again for 3 days. What were you doing? You ignored my calls and texts. Do you really think that because I like you, you can do whatever you want to me? Chloe, I really didn't mean to. There was a reason I couldn't reply these 3 days. I didn't do it on purpose. And I came to Fairmont University because of you. Please give me one more chance. I promise I won't disappear without a reason again." "That's your explanation?" "Something really happened." "Then tell me, what happened?" "No one is so busy they can't send one text." Forget it. You don't have to explain. Ethan, I don't care why you vanished 3 years ago, or why you came to Fairmont now. I don't care anymore. Over these 3 days, I figured something out. Text me or don't. Go wherever you want. Live however you want. From now on, your life has nothing to do with me. Then I won't have to keep worrying about when you'll vanish again. I'm exhausted. Ethan, I don't want to like you anymore. This is where we end. Let's stay out of each other's lives. From now on, we're strangers. With that, she walked past me without expression. She quickly pushed open the lounge's back door and strode back inside. Everyone inside turned to look at her. Not until Chloe returned to the side of the stage did a single tear quietly fall from her beautiful eyes, but she quickly wiped it away. After a deep breath, she buried her pain. She forced a smile. Her cold indifference was an act. But their story could only end here. Maybe only by letting go could she stop worrying about when I'd disappear again. Her youth was truly over. I watched Chloe leave and wanted to stop her, but after hesitating, I silently turned away. I left the backstage hall and texted Marcus to ask where our class was sitting. Then I went back to my seat. The moment I sat down, Marcus and the others leaned in. "Third, did you and Chloe make it official? Confess?" "What confession? Didn't you perform tonight just so you could go backstage and confess to Chloe?" "No. What do you mean? It didn't go well?" "She got mad because I didn't reply to her for 3 days. Third, that's on you. There's a saying online. If you don't text back for 3 days, that's an automatic breakup. You haven't even won her over, and you ignored her for 3 days. No wonder she's mad. So, third, what happened? Why did you suddenly disappear? Forget it. Let's not talk about it. Watch the show. Security rules. Meant I could never tell unrelated people what I did. It's okay. She's just mad. As long as she doesn't accept Ryan's confession tonight, you still have a chance. At least she still cares enough to get mad at you. When she stops getting mad, then you're really done. Don't start. You said Ethan only has a chance. If she turns Ryan down, what if she accepts him tonight? Still fine. Even married people get divorced. And this is just a confession. I'm fine. Let's leave it at that. We'll deal with the future later. That's the spirit. And now that you're back, our class is getting together tonight. We're going to karaoke. The room's already booked. Come with us. Sing a little, have some drinks. Nothing lasts forever. Okay. But I'm skipping drinks. My stomach's been off. I'll come hang out and get to know everyone. It'd be awkward to still not know my classmates. After being here this long. Unless something major comes up, I'll probably stay at school. Getting to know my classmates is only polite. I know that much. That's more like it. Ha! Tonight I'll show you all what a karaoke king sounds like. On stage, Ryan hurried over to Chloe. Chloe, what's wrong? What happened? Nothing. Chloe shook her head without expression. Then she ignored Ryan. She stared blankly at the other acts on stage. Time flew by. The gala only lasted 2 hours. After the final act, Chloe and Ryan went on stage to close the show. But as they finished and everyone prepared to leave, Ryan must have arranged it beforehand, because a spotlight suddenly hit him. Then a student at the side of the stage brought Ryan a bouquet of roses. Seeing it on the big screen, students who were about to leave sat back down. They were ready for the drama. Can I have a few minutes? I hope you'll all witness this moment. Ryan took the microphone and addressed the crowd. Chloe, from the first moment I saw you freshman year, I felt deeply for you. Today, in front of everyone in our school, I'm telling you how I feel. As he spoke, he lifted the flowers and held them out to Chloe. I've loved you for a year, and I've pursued you for a year. I want to know you. I want to see the world through your eyes. Somewhere along the way, I realized I can't be without you. So today, I hope you'll give me a chance. A chance to stand by your side and be with you. The auditorium fell silent. Then the crowd began murmuring. That guy's slick. In front of this many people. How is she supposed to say yes or no? Third, say the word. Want to go up there? Before I could answer, Chloe spoke to Ryan. I'm sorry. I know accepting you is what you want. But if I'm going to be with someone, I have to really, truly love them. And I'm sorry, but I can't feel for you the way you feel for me. So I can't say yes. And Ryan, I've made this very clear before. I don't like you. This is the last time. There won't be another. With that, she held the microphone and walked away without hesitation. I let out a breath. The gala's over. Let's head back, shower and change. Aren't we going to karaoke after this? Right. Let's go. I looked once more at Chloe's retreating figure. After a soft sigh, I followed Marcus and the others with resolve. Love and ambition don't have to clash. I wouldn't give up that easily. On the main campus road, Natalie walked beside Chloe. Chloe, you were so badass turning Ryan down. Too bad Ryan got rejected again. Are we really leaving him like that? Why don't you be his girlfriend? Chloe shot Natalie an annoyed look. I don't like him. He chose to confess in front of everyone. What was I supposed to do? If he can make a public confession, he should be ready to get rejected publicly. I'm not indulging that nonsense. Fair enough. Let's talk about something else. Did your freshman Ethan find you backstage? What happened? Don't mention him. I have nothing to do with him anymore. To me, he died 3 years ago. Natalie hesitated. She could tell that Chloe was in a really bad place, especially when Ethan came up. She looked ready to kill someone. Let's change the subject. Natalie smiled awkwardly and held up her phone. She showed Chloe the screen. Look at this news online. The National Academy of Sciences developed 1-nanometer lithography. They even made 1-nanometer chips. Maybe before long we'll get to use our own homegrown chips. I'm definitely supporting this. I don't really care. Chloe was in a terrible mood. She casually glanced at Natalie's screen, then looked away. But the next second, she turned back and grabbed Natalie's phone. Wait, let me see that. She stared at Natalie's screen, at a social media photo from the Academy's press conference. Zooming in to examine it closely. It's just a press conference photo. What's so interesting? That's Ethan. Chloe froze. The photo only showed a back. But the person seated at the far end of the front row, his clothes and silhouette, looked exactly like Ethan. She could be wrong about anything else, but Ethan's silhouette was something she'd never mistake. Then she remembered the medal I'd been wearing. She hadn't thought much about it at first, But after seeing that photo, a wild thought hit her. Could Ethan have vanished because he was at this press conference? But he's so young. What could he possibly do? To attend a press conference at that level? Wouldn't it be full of major scientists? And he was sitting in the front row. That made even less sense. But she couldn't possibly mistake my silhouette. Was she imagining it? Natalie, let's go back to the dorm. Back at the dorm, Chloe found the full-size photo. After studying it for a while, she opened her laptop and quickly started searching online. Many medals looked similar to the one on my chest, but none matched it exactly. Chloe, what are you looking up? Nothing. Just researching something. I'm done. Natalie, who attends National Academy of Sciences press conferences. Probably Academy members, senior researchers, or high-ranking science officials. That made sense. Chloe slowly nodded. Then she laughed at herself. What was I even hoping for? That Ethan had been at an Academy press conference, bound by some confidentiality agreement, so he couldn't use his phone to text me for 3 days? How could that be? And even if it really was Ethan, but what does that have to do with me? He and I are history. Back at the dorm, I changed out of my suit. I carefully removed the medal from it and placed it in my desk drawer. Then I grabbed some clean clothes and headed to the dorm showers. At 10:30 that night, Marcus and the others joined me at a karaoke bar in downtown Fairmont. Our acting class rep had organized the night. Military training is finally over, and we're off tomorrow. Nobody goes home sober tonight. Halfway through, I went looking for the restroom, but after wandering around, I still couldn't find it. Just then, a group of men and women came racing out of a hallway. What was going on? Why were they running? Trusting my survival instincts, I turned to bolt. But then, several men shouted behind me, "Stop! Nobody move!" I looked back and saw several men racing toward me, so I ran even faster. But before I made it 2 steps, one of the men chasing me grabbed me by the collar. "Don't move." "Sir, what's this about?" "I'm a police officer. Come back to the room quietly. We'll take all of you to the station shortly." "Why? What did I do?" "Who are you people? You know exactly who we are. Then why the hell are you grabbing me?" "I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. Everyone we catch says that. If you're innocent, why did you run?" "Enough. Back to the room." The officer took me into a private room. 7 or 8 men and women were crouched inside the dark room. More people kept getting dragged in. Officer? I swear I wasn't with these people. I only came here to sing with my friends. If you don't believe me, I can call them over to prove it." "Fine. Call them." He compared me with the others, then slowly nodded. Thrilled, I quickly pulled out my phone and called our dorm group. Maybe the karaoke room was too loud, or they'd gotten carried away drinking. Not one of them answered. "Do you remember your room number?" "I forgot. I'd forgotten that I never knew it to begin with." "Then stay put. You'll be coming to the station with us. If you're clean, you'll be free to leave. The station isn't far. You can have your friends pick you up there." My eyes lit up as an idea came to me. Then the door opened. 2 men in black street clothes approached the plainclothes officers and showed their credentials. "Officers, we can vouch for him. He really wasn't in this room, so we'll be taking him with us." "Who are you?" The officer took the credentials and turned on the lights. The moment he read them, his face turned serious. "You're with the National Security Directorate? Mr. Hayes, we were assigned to protect you." "Gentlemen, do I know you? I suggest you mind your own business." I immediately gave them a resentful look. The 2 exchanged a confused glance. Then Marcus called from our karaoke room. "Third, why'd you call?" "It's nothing. Something came up. You guys keep having fun. Are you coming back later?" "Depends on how this goes." "All right, go handle it." The room fell silent. The men and women crouching on the floor looked especially baffled. "Officer, I can vouch for this guy. He really wasn't with us. Please let him go. You mind your own business, too." I rolled my eyes at him and faced the lead officer. "Officer, once you take me in, can someone pick me up after I'm cleared?" "Yes." "Great. When do we leave?" "If we wait much longer, the dorms will lock up. Then my ride won't be able to get out." "Who else do you want to come get you?" "The National Security Directorate already vouched for you. Why are you insisting on staying?" "A friend." "What's your excuse? Isn't it obvious? I got arrested." The Directorate agents' mouths twitched. "Have you 2 been following me?" The agents exchanged a look. One typed a message on his phone and showed me. "Your identity was previously leaked online. To prevent foreign groups from targeting you, for the foreseeable future, we'll stay close and protect you." "Thank you. I appreciate it." Once the officers had rounded everyone up, they loaded them and me, their willing volunteer, into police cars. My case was cleared quickly with the Directorate agents vouching for me. The footage confirmed the mistake. After a short statement, I was free. The 2 Directorate agents disappeared, 2. Their job was to protect me from the shadows. I checked the time. It was 11:20. Campus curfew was 40 minutes away. I picked up my phone and texted Chloe. Chloe, save me. Chloe's heart tightened when she saw it. She sent a question mark. What happened? I got arrested. I need someone to bail me out. Ethan, are you out of your mind? After sending that, Chloe sent a 60-second voice message. I chose not to play it. Can't your roommates get you? Why does it have to be me? What are we to each other? They won't answer. I don't know what they're doing. For old time's sake, come get me. You wouldn't abandon me, right? It was a wrongful arrest. I just need someone to sign me out. Wait there. Half an hour later, Chloe arrived at the station. Ma'am, how can I help you? What can I help you with? Was someone named Ethan Hayes brought in here? I came to bail him out. You're his girlfriend, right? Did you two have a fight? Please take your boyfriend home. He's not my boyfriend. But what do you mean, take him home? Your boyfriend's story has spread through the whole station. He was apparently out with his roommates, singing karaoke. He stumbled into one of our raids and got detained by mistake. We cleared him at the karaoke bar, but he stubbornly insisted on coming back to the station. He said he wanted his friend to pick him up. Every young couple fights. You'll get past it. Take him home and give him a good lecture. Even married couples fight and make up. Your boyfriend sure went all out to see you. All right, I'm so sorry for the trouble. The desk officer quickly showed Chloe to the lounge where I was waiting. Once the officer left, her face went cold. She strode toward me. Ethan, are you completely insane? Didn't I say we'd stay out of each other's lives? Do you not understand what that means? You didn't need to drag me all the way here, just so I could yell at you. You came to the station just for this? Why didn't you let the police lock you up? For a few days to cool off? Even getting locked up would be better than you never wanting to see me again. I looked up pitifully. Chloe froze. Don't give me that look. Get up now or I swear I'll beat you so hard your insurance won't cover it. I've had my rabies shot. You think I'm scared of you? Right? You're not even afraid of getting arrested. What could possibly scare you? Then you shouldn't have texted me for help. I'm not that brave. Let's go. Unless you want to spend the night here. Okay. I quietly stood up and meekly took my place beside Chloe. Outside the station, Chloe stood before me and looked up to ask. I gave a small nod. Then my stomach suddenly growled. Hungry? Yeah. Then let's grab some food. We walked in silence, stopping here and there. At last, we found a barbecue place on a street corner. After ordering some skewers, Chloe asked for 2 ice-cold drinks. She opened them and poured herself a glass, then poured one for me. Let's have one first. I eyed the drink and remembered the doctor's warning when I left the hospital. Keep your diet light for the next 2 days. No smoking or drinking, understood? But the next second, I nodded without hesitation. I raised my glass and clinked it against Chloe's. Then I downed it. I shuddered and secretly glanced at Chloe. Why are you staring at me? No reason. Then stop looking. I can't help it. Don't act cute. Eat your food. I quietly picked up a skewer as Chloe watched me eat. Her eyes held mixed emotions. After a few bites, I looked at her. Why aren't you eating? I'm waiting for your apology. I'm sorry. That's it? Chloe raised an eyebrow. I'm sorry I left without saying goodbye 3 years ago. And I'm sorry I didn't answer you a few days ago. That's better. How will you make it up to me? Name it. If I can do it, I will. Simple. Tell me where you were for those 3 years. Tell me where you went and why you suddenly vanished. What? You can't tell me? It's not that I can't. Then you just don't want to. Chloe stood up. In that case, I'm leaving. Don't go. I grabbed her hand. I'll tell you. Chloe stopped and looked back at me. Something happened in my family 3 years ago. I had to leave. A few days ago, my phone broke and I sent it for repairs. That's why I didn't reply. That's all? Yeah. Okay. I believe you. Chloe sat down and started eating a skewer. I relaxed. So we're friends again? Of course. Good. We ate and talked, and the tension slowly faded. By the time we finished, it was past midnight. Where do we go now? I don't know. The dorms are probably locked. Let's get a hotel. What? What are you thinking? 2 rooms. Oh, okay. We found a hotel and went inside. How can I help you? Hi. We'd like 2 rooms, please. The clerk glanced at our hands, still clasped together. He paused, then answered impatiently. We only have a deluxe couple's king room left. It's $400, plus a $200 deposit. Want it? Should we try somewhere else? I looked at Chloe. She searched on her phone. Every nearby hotel is sold out. Does the room have a couch? Yes. Then we'll take it. You get the couch and I'll take the bed. Okay. After checking in, we went to the room. The moment we entered, we saw a heart made of rose petals on the bed. Chloe's face turned bright red, and she fled into the bathroom. She turned on the faucet and splashed cold water on her face. Chloe Bennett, hold it together. Want me to clean this up? I swept the petals into the trash, and Chloe came out. Do you want to shower before bed? I showered before coming out. What about you? I did too. Then let's sleep. Chloe took a deep breath and sat on the bed. She grabbed a pillow and tossed it onto the couch. You sleep on the couch. I get the bed. Okay, no problem. I nodded and lay down on the couch. Then strange noises came from upstairs. We both froze. Let's turn off the lights and sleep. About 20 minutes later, the noises upstairs finally stopped. The moon hung high outside. Ethan, are you asleep? No. What's wrong with your voice? Are you cold? Why don't you sleep up here? But there's a line down the middle. Neither of us crosses it. My eyes lit up, and I sprang from the couch onto the bed. Don't try anything. I won't move an inch. The room fell silent, leaving only our breathing. Half an hour later, my eyes snapped open. My mind entered the eternal archive. Chloe had no idea my consciousness was inside the eternal archive. She watched me quietly for a while. Seeing me sound asleep, she slowly relaxed. Then she glared at me for no apparent reason. Near noon the next day, sunlight streamed through the window onto the blankets. Chloe's phone suddenly rang. Who is it? Chloe fumbled for her phone irritably. It was Natalie. Chloe, what's going on? It's almost noon. Why aren't you back on campus? It's noon? Chloe felt something heavy pressing against her. Ethan, get off me. She saw me lying on top of her and slapped me. Ethan? What about Ethan? Chloe, you stayed out all night. Don't tell me you were. Natalie, something came up. I'll explain later. 10 minutes later, I pointed to one side of my cheek, now marked with a handprint. I blocked the bathroom doorway. My face is bright red. Aren't you going to take responsibility? Chloe paused when she saw the mark on my face, perfectly matching her hand, then burst out laughing. Sorry, I really tried to hold it in, but I just couldn't. That handprint was way too funny. I stepped around Chloe and opened the toiletry kit by the sink. I took out a toothbrush and added toothpaste. Then I filled the rinsing cup with water. Brush your teeth first. Then I'll take you to lunch. We'll head back to school after. But first, you need to do something for me. Oh, what now? Go downstairs and buy me a mask. This handprint probably won't fade for hours. How am I supposed to show my face without one? Fair enough. I'll get you one. A stylish one that'll make you look even better. By the time Chloe got back, I was almost done getting ready. I saw the two masks in Chloe's hand and asked, confused, why'd you buy two? One would have been enough. Chloe pouted and put on one black mask. Then she held the other black mask out to me. Because I felt like it. Put it on. It should barely cover that handprint. I looked deeply at Chloe. After putting it on, I asked, what do you want for lunch? Anything. No, anything. You pick. Then guess where I'm taking you. Hot pot. You got it. Outside the hotel after Ethan and Chloe left and walked down the street. Behind them, two men quietly appeared. They were the National Security Directorate agents who'd come for Ethan last night. Got it. Don't worry. If anything happens, I'll protect her even if it kills me. What is it? Something happened? We just got word that someone's targeting Ethan. They're likely from across the Pacific. It's all Leo's fans' fault for putting him online. They've made a mess for us. My record was clean. I should have been able to attend school normally. But my information got exposed. And with China already under scrutiny over 1-nanometer lithography, this made things worse even if the authorities shut it down fast. But foreign groups would rather target the wrong person than let even one possible lead go. There was no way my identity wouldn't draw attention. Chloe and I found a simple hot pot place and had lunch. Then we caught a bus back to school. Once aboard, Chloe took the window seat. I naturally sat beside her. Then I pulled out my phone and took out a pair of earbuds. After plugging them in, I held one earbud out to Chloe. Want to listen to music? Sure. Before she could react, I picked up the earbud and slowly stood, stepping in front of Chloe. With a serious look, I placed it in her left ear. With me so close, Chloe's heart began racing on its own. Why are you so close? I'm putting in your earbud. Why not use the right one? Because I grabbed the left one. After carefully fitting Chloe's earbud, I finally sat back down. If the left side bothers you, I can switch it. Chloe rolled her eyes. No, he did that on purpose. Ethan definitely did. Mid-Autumn Festival is in a few days. Are you going home? No, it's only a 3-day break. The trip's too much hassle. Still, since starting college, this will be my second Mid-Autumn Festival away from home. I really miss the fireworks on Firefly Island back home. Back home, there was a scenic spot in the middle of a river. Whirling currents piled up sand until it gradually became an island. It became a tourist spot, and on holidays, especially big ones like Mid-Autumn Festival. Once approved, the Firefly Island Park Authority would put on a fireworks show, but Fairmont bans fireworks. She hadn't seen fireworks in ages. Do you miss them that much? Come to think of it, since I joined the National Academy of Sciences and left Lake Haven, I haven't seen Firefly Island's fireworks either. A little, but it's just wishful thinking. Fairmont doesn't allow fireworks. We'll see about that. How do you know? Want to make a bet? What kind of bet? If there are fireworks that night, you kiss me. So deal? And if there aren't, then I kiss you. That way you can't lose. Chloe rolled her eyes. I'd lose big time. Only an idiot would take that bet. Back at school, I went with Chloe to get food for her roommates. Then I walked her back to her dorm. When I got back, Marcus and the others still weren't home. I took out my phone and opened an app with a special icon. The screen instantly turned blue. Back at the research complex, I'd thrown together this little app. It did one thing: detect every signal source within 60 feet. Once I confirmed there were no cameras in the room or listening devices, I took out my secure phone. I called Arthur Vaughn. He picked up quickly. Arthur's hearty laugh came through. Ethan, we just saw each other yesterday. What can I do for you today? Mr. Vaughn, I want to apply for a lab at Fairmont University, and I may need you to send over some materials and equipment. Got a new idea? Yes. I'll put together a list of what I need and email it to you. That evening, military green trucks rolled into Fairmont University. They instantly drew a crowd. The next day, I looked over the huge empty lab and its rows of precision instruments. I clapped my hands to psych myself up. Let's get started. Meanwhile, in the women's dorm, Chloe and her roommates had no morning classes, so they hadn't gone to the academic building. Natalie was resting while the other two had gone to the library to study. Chloe was watching the stock market. That was one reason some Fairmont professors valued her. She had exceptional instincts for finance. In just her first year of college, she turned her family's $30,000 seed money into $75,000, nearly a 150% return. But then, an email suddenly popped up on her desktop. Chloe froze when she saw it. Then she quickly clicked it open. It was an email from Fairmont University. After quickly reading it, she screamed with joy in the dorm. No way. Is this real? Oh my God. Professor Harper wants me in her combined master's and PhD program. Professor Harper was a renowned finance professor at Fairmont. She was also one of China's few leading economists. She'd even helped draft major economic legislation. Chloe had originally hoped to apply for her graduate program. She never expected to be admitted directly without exams. Once she finished her undergrad, she could immediately begin her master's and PhD. She immediately grabbed her phone and quickly texted me. Ethan, Professor Evelyn Harper from our school wants me in her master's and PhD program. She's one of China's top economists. Natalie leaned in and asked Chloe in surprise, Chloe, this Professor Harper, isn't she the one who told you to apply for her graduate program? That famous economics professor? At the School of Economics and Management, any student in an economics-related major had heard of her. Yes, call the other two back. Lunch is on me. We're going out to celebrate. A week later, Ethan's phone rang. I checked the caller ID. It was Arthur Vaughn. Mr. Vaughn, it's Ethan. What's going on? Arthur normally didn't call me first, especially not after 9 at night. Ethan, I'm sorry to call this late, but we have an urgent situation and need your help. Arthur paused briefly, then asked, how many usable nanosuits do you have in your lab? 9. Good, good. A defense command helicopter will pick you up in 30 minutes. It's taking you to command headquarters. Bring all 9 nanosuits. The defense command needs you here first. I can't discuss details over the phone. Half an hour later, I brought the 9 nanosuit storage cases from the lab onto a defense command helicopter. We sped through the night toward Fairmont's military command base. What happened? Why the emergency? We're not sure. Our job is just to transport you. We know nothing else. I frowned but said nothing more. Over an hour later, I was brought to a defense command center. Seeing it made me frown even harder. When I walked in, Victor Holden immediately rose from his seat. There was no time for pleasantries. He took me straight to the front of the command center and ordered a soldier nearby to put a video on the main screen. Academician Hayes watched this first. At once, the command center's main screen showed a tropical rainforest. Dense trees towered overhead. At the center were several dogs clad in steel armor. Yes, dogs. Their bodies were covered in steel. They were 2 or 3 times the size of normal dogs. Their vicious fangs were bared. Thick drool dripped from their mouths. Whenever it hit the ground, it hissed and smoked. It was clearly highly corrosive. My expression hardened. What are those? That's why we urgently called you in. This footage came from our border an hour ago. It was inside a special forces sector guarding the border. An hour ago, while our troops were on routine patrol, they found these bizarre hounds charging across the border. We believe a criminal organization near the border created these mutated creatures. But these mutants are deeply unnatural. Bullets won't kill them. Even fire can't burn a single hair off them. We've already lost a full special forces squad. As I listened to Victor, I studied the images on the screen. Suddenly, my heart started pounding. This wasn't ordinary genetic evolution. Someone had altered them. The gene chains inside these mutated hounds had evolved, with segments from other genes spliced in. What do you need me to do? There are still more than a dozen special forces soldiers fighting those mutated hounds in the rainforest. If those hounds breach the border containment line and reach civilian areas, the consequences could be catastrophic. So we're deploying fighter jets to deliver the nanosuits to the special forces team. They'll use them to stop those things. Fine. But they aren't trained on nanosuits, so I'll need to control them remotely while they're worn by our soldiers. And once this is over, I need an intact body from one of those mutated hounds. I need to study their genetic sequences. For the first time, my face turned grave. I knew these mutated hounds were hiding an unknown secret. Around 1 in the morning, I finally left the defense command. Of course, it was too late to return to campus. I didn't stay at the military guest house either. I headed near school and found a comfortable hotel. After washing up, I saw a message from over an hour ago, from Chloe saying good night. After sending a short reply, I lay alone in my hotel room, lost in heavy thoughts. I needed to think through what happened today. It looked like a simple case of animal mutation, but with the Eternal Archive, I had to consider more. Then my phone pinged several times. I turned, picked it up, and checked. They were messages from Chloe. You're still up this late? Did something happen? Answer your phone. Seeing those messages, I took a deep breath and shakily picked up my phone to reply. But the next second, Chloe called. I forced my trembling fingers still and took several more deep breaths. I even rushed into the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. Once I cleared my head, I went back into the room and answered in a normal voice. Ethan, are you asleep? Not yet. What's up? Didn't you say you were going to sleep? You woke up that fast? Couldn't fall asleep. What, missing me? A little. I just saw your message. Are you upset? Girls are very perceptive. From the way I texted, she probably sensed that something had happened to me and I was feeling low. Why do you say that? Maybe we're just in sync. I just know you're unhappy. So you called me? I was afraid something was bothering you and you'd have no one to talk to. I'm coming to see you. Whatever's bothering you, don't keep it bottled up. You can tell me. Don't be sad alone. Okay? Isn't campus already under curfew? A little curfew. Can't stop this girl from seeing her man. After hanging up with Ethan, Chloe quickly climbed out of bed. She carefully stepped onto the floor and quietly opened her closet. She picked out a casual outfit and changed out of her pajamas. Chloe was about to leave the dorm. Chloe, it's so late. Where are you going? Chloe hesitated. Then she hurried over to Natalie. She whispered nervously, Natalie, you're still awake? It's time to come through for your girl. What are you up to? I need to go out for something. To see Ethan? Chloe nodded quietly. Natalie's eyes lit up. She quickly climbed out of bed. She whispered, Girl, now I'm not sleepy anymore. Don't tell me you're sneaking into the guy's dorm. That's wild. Chloe rolled her eyes at Natalie in the dark. What are you thinking? Ethan isn't in his dorm tonight. He got a hotel room. I'm going to see him. What's this? Fairmont's campus queen. What are you imagining? I get it. Tell me. What's the plan? Climb out the window. The girls had gone shopping together before, but came back after curfew. They'd once asked a classmate to quietly open the lobby window for them, then climbed in through it. We'll sneak downstairs first. Once we make sure Janet's asleep, I'll climb out the window. You just close it behind me. Natalie nodded without hesitation. Then she grinned mischievously. Fine, but promise me this. You two better be careful. Oh, stop. Soon, the two sneaks made it downstairs. They first opened the metal security door, then hurried into the first-floor lobby. Janet's room was a small space on the first floor, but its light was already off. Moonlight faintly spilled across the ground outside. Chloe and Natalie quickly ran to a window along the lobby wall. Together, they carefully opened it. Chloe nimbly climbed up onto the windowsill and looked back at Natalie. I'm off. Remember to lock the window. Natalie gave her an okay sign. The next second, Chloe slipped through the window and landed outside. But someone had left an empty soda can by the window. Chloe stepped right on it. It made a loud crunch. At once, inside Janet's room, the lights came on. Which little punk is it now? Always climbing out windows to dodge curfew. Chloe's face changed the second she landed. Girl, run. Be careful. Chloe took off running. Natalie quickly slammed the window shut. She glanced at the shadow moving inside the room and saw Janet hadn't come out yet. She bolted back into the hallway. Close one. Close one. Half an hour later, Chloe knocked on my hotel room door. Seeing Chloe standing sweetly at the door, I asked, curious, how did you get out? Didn't you know the first floor lobby window opens from inside? I climbed out. Mr. Hayes, I came all this way. You're not going to leave me at the door, are you? I stepped aside. Once Chloe came in, she jumped straight onto the bed. She pulled back the covers and patted the empty spot beside her. Then she beckoned to me expectantly. Come here, keep me company and unwind. A faint smile slowly appeared on my heavy face. After carefully hiding my feelings, I walked over to Chloe with a smile. Coming here this late? Aren't you afraid of me? I'm not afraid of you. I stared at Chloe until her cheeks turned red. Stop staring at me. Just hug me first. Chloe paused for a moment, looking into Ethan's unsteady eyes. Her heart instantly ached for him. I'd hidden my feelings well, but she still saw through me. He used to be so proud. His eyes always held bold confidence. Now they were dull, tired, and lost. Even with a smile on my face, the light in my eyes was gone. Chloe reached out and hugged me. Then she felt my unsteady head, burrowing into her arms like a kitten looking for its bed. Chloe didn't say a word. She just quietly ran her fingers through my thick hair. At least my thick hair didn't exactly fit the scientist stereotype of a National Academy researcher. After a while, I looked up and she asked with concern, tell me, did something happen? Is that why you're upset? I shook my head. I can't talk about it. I gave a small nod. Chloe took a deep breath. Then she naturally laid her head in my lap. She looked up at me and smiled. Okay, if you can't talk about it, then don't. But the next second, she heard my stomach growl. Are you hungry? A little, I thought. I'd taken a bath that evening, then gone to Defense Command headquarters, and now I was back near campus. I hadn't eaten anything all day. It was fine until Chloe mentioned it. Now I really was hungry. Want a late-night snack? Didn't you say late-night food makes you gain weight? I'm ordering it for you. Do you want some? If you insist, I can help you eat a little. Just a tiny bite. That's all. Maybe not. If you gain weight, I'll get blamed for it. How about this? What? Find a coin and we'll flip for it. Heads, we eat. Tails, we don't. If the coin breaks, we skip it. Deal? Never mind. No coin flip. Then cute Ms. Bennett can help me finish a little snack. Just a little. You invited me. I wasn't trying to eat. Yes. For no real reason. My mood had gotten much better since Chloe arrived. Chloe quickly ordered delivery. Since it would take half an hour, Chloe waved her phone and looked up at me. The food will take a while. Want to watch something? She smiled smugly. I found this really good show lately. I nodded, and Chloe immediately shifted in my arms. She found a more comfortable position, then curled back up against me. She put on a romance show she was following. She watched quietly, and I said nothing. I held Chloe as we watched in bed. The night was quiet and so was the room. Other than the sound from her phone, there was only Chloe's soft laughter at the funny parts. She had this habit while watching shows, especially in my arms. Whenever she laughed, she'd squirm around. Before long, Chloe suddenly went still. What are you thinking about? Our future. What our home will be like. We'll have a couch and rug we picked out together, and an open balcony where we can enjoy the breeze. We can even put pots of flowers and plants we'd grow ourselves. There'd be soup I'd made for you bubbling in the kitchen. Maybe we could adopt a stray kitten too. When it gets dark, I'll stand by the big window, watching the city lights and waiting for the door to open. Then you'll smile and say, I'm home. I'll run to hug you, and our kitten will curl around your feet. The cat is yours. The stars and moon outside are yours, too. And so am I. After saying that, Chloe looked up at me and smiled. Do you think we'll have that future? Of course. We'll love each other until we're 80. What, we'll fight when we're 81? Of course not. I suddenly want to see us 60 years from now. To see if I'm still with you. To know the answer. To see how many kids we'll have. Whether we'll dance together in the park. And when our grandkids ask me how I won you over, I'll say, no. Your grandma chased me first. She was even cuter than you when she was young. And if those little brats don't want to brush their teeth, I'll tell them, if you don't brush your teeth, you'll end up just like your grandma, a toothless old lady. Why, you jerk? You're the toothless old lady. You're the old toothless man. That night was the only night. I didn't study in the Eternal Archive. Most nights I spent nearly all my time inside the Eternal Archive, studying all kinds of science and technology. But tonight, I wanted to give myself a break. Time slowly passed as the night grew deep. The central AC blew a cool breeze through the room, yet cold sweat beaded across my forehead. My brow tightened, my face twisted in pain. No, no. I jolted upright in bed. Seeing dawn brighten the sky outside, I finally let out a long breath. Chloe, asleep beside me, was startled awake by my cry. She rubbed her sleepy eyes, then quickly sat up and leaned against my chest. Listening to my racing heartbeat, she looked at me worriedly. What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare? Yeah. Chloe leaned close and smiled softly. It's okay. I'm right here. Go back to sleep. I squeezed Chloe's soft hand and let out a breath. Then I lay back down. But the nightmare left me anything but calm. A storm was already rising inside me. Chloe got up early the next day. Chloe, you're really dressed up. Are you trying to make Ethan drool? Careful, you might not make it back tonight. It's our first time going to an amusement park alone together. Of course I have to look cute. Wow, you've really grown up. When Arthur called me, I hesitated for a few seconds before answering. Mr. Vaughn, what's going on? Ethan, the Defense Command has the research results. When can you come by and take a look? We've made a major discovery. They identified the genetic code. Is it urgent? Yes. The genetic code is very strange. It's a genetic code never seen on Earth. When can you come to the Defense Command lab? I hesitated. Not for a while. I want to stay at school a little longer. Did something happen? No. I've just been busy lately. I'm tired. I want to get some real rest. I didn't think I was invincible, especially when dealing with something unknown. Even though I was ready to face certain possibilities. For once, I wanted to be selfish. The world keeps turning without anyone. Sometimes I even thought I could just live a simple life at school, be a normal student, and after graduation, date Chloe, get married, and have kids. I didn't have to demand so much from myself. A quiet, content life wouldn't be so bad. How long do you need? You may be the only one who can solve this. Right now, neither the National Academy researchers, nor the Defense Command researchers, can make sense of the genetic code extracted from those mutated hounds. That was why he'd called me. Maybe I could find an answer. I sighed. I'm not sure. I may take an extended break. Arthur sighed in the end. Maybe that's for the best. Rest up at school. I'd already done more than enough for my country. Even if I never touched research again, I'd still have a place in scientific history worldwide. I hung up, but as the hand holding my phone slowly fell, the smile faded from my face. 3 years ago, I'd gone to the northern frontier without hesitation to develop lithography. What had I done it for? Outside the women's dorm, Chloe came happily toward me, and immediately sensed something was wrong. Or rather, since that night, I'd never seemed like myself. She could clearly feel it. She'd seen the spirited, fearless me, not this version. Even though I still looked relaxed, a heavy air clung to me. It wasn't like me. Chloe smiled softly and linked her arm through mine. What's wrong? Nothing. Did the National Academy call again? I was silent for a long time, then slowly nodded. Is it serious? More serious than anything I've faced before. Could even cause global unrest. If we confirm that genetic code really came from space and has powers like that, the world could fall into chaos. Chloe fell silent. Once upon a time, I was just the boy who secretly slept in class and asked her to keep watch. But in the blink of an eye, I was dealing with things like this. So why was I hesitating now? Because of Chloe, or because of my sense of duty? Chloe had always known my sense of responsibility. Ran far deeper than I ever showed. Was I afraid I couldn't carry that responsibility? At that thought, Chloe suddenly rose on her toes and kissed my cheek. Then she let go of my arm and said casually, Go where you're needed. I was taken aback. What about the amusement park? Chloe smiled. Silly, we have so much time ahead of us. What difference does today or another day make? Chloe took my hand. I don't know exactly what you all do, but haven't you always done an amazing job? You have to believe you're not just my son. With your ability, you can be a light for so many others. Sure, you can shine on everyone, but there'd better be only one girl in your heart. I'm selfish about that. A trace of admiration filled Chloe's eyes. I always believed the man I loved would always be the one in golden armor, riding in on a rainbow cloud, a fearless hero beyond compare. My eyes shifted. I gently squeezed Chloe's hand. My eyes slowly grew resolute. A hero beyond compare, fearless before the world. Could I be that man? Maybe I can. An hour later, a Defense Command helicopter lifted off from Fairmont University's lab. Quickly took off from the lab. On the field, Chloe sat quietly on the grass, watching the helicopter fade into the distance. After a long silence, she couldn't help but smile. That's the Ethan I know best. I hope my favorite boy in the world stays safe from every danger. I'll be here at school waiting for you. at the Northern Frontier Research Complex. Inside a massive underground test chamber, at the center of a giant ring wasn't a standard engine prototype, but something glowing and eerie blue, a strange field warping the light around it. Inside it, a small aircraft silhouette was barely visible. Ethan stood at the main console as data streamed down the screens, the result of months of work. Charles Ward, Arthur Vaughan, Martin Shaw, and other leading scientists from the National Academies held their breath, standing behind him in silence. Their eyes were locked on the center of the chamber. Horizon 1 curvature drive prototype. Activate. Initiating stage 1 propulsion test. Inside the warp space, the shuttle-shaped prototype wasn't moving under its own power. Instead, it moved with space itself, gliding forward in a way that defied intuition. The speed readings began to climb. The initial speed wasn't impressive, but it wasn't accelerating through thrust. Space itself was carrying the aircraft forward. The control center erupted in cheers. Many white-haired experts embraced and wept. "That's my boy. You've done something historic for our country and our people. This is a breakthrough for the ages." I looked at the steady data on the screen, and the surreal sight at the center. A relieved smile crossed my face, but something unreadable lingered deep in my eyes. Meanwhile, at the Fairmont University School of Economics and Management Study Hall, Chloe had just finished advanced financial theory. She carried her books down the tree-lined path to her dorm. Autumn sunlight shone through yellowing ginkgo leaves, scattering flecks of light across the path. Her phone buzzed. A message from a secure, encrypted channel appeared on screen. "Phase complete. I'm safe. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten our fireworks promise. I don't know when I'll return, but my heart is already with you." Chloe's lips curled into a bright, involuntary smile. She looked up at the vast blue northern sky. A plane's contrail stretched across the drifting clouds. But beneath that calm, danger was brewing. The night Ethan's team celebrated its first success, a highly encrypted emergency report was delivered to his temporary office. "It's more complicated than we thought. This goes beyond simple scientific competition. There are clear signs of unnatural interference." I nodded, a sharp glint flashing in my eyes. I understood. From then on, my time was split in two. By day, I refined curvature drive theory and planned the next round of experiments. At night, I led the Pathfinder task force through the Eternal Archive's vast data for any clue tied to that mysterious gene. Chloe sensed the exhaustion and pressure I tried to hide. She didn't press me for answers. She quietly mailed me specialties from home and shared funny campus stories over video calls. The breakthrough came late one night. In a deeply buried section of the Eternal Archive, I found records of an ancient, extinct civilization. It described something they called the Prime Code, a fundamental unit of cosmic information. Certain fragments of that mysterious gene sequence matched a degraded form or fragmented expression of the Prime Code with shocking mathematical precision. I reported it to Charles and senior leadership. "We have to stop them. If this power gets out of control, it could disrupt the laws of physics across an entire region, or even cause an unimaginable spacetime disaster." A silent war had begun. Top leadership authorized Ethan, when necessary, to use select classified Horizon Initiative technology to infiltrate the target lab and gather intelligence. Destroy it if necessary. Finals were approaching at Fairmont University, and Chloe was studying late at the library for an important major exam. As she rubbed her sore eyes and packed up to leave, she saw a missed call and a text on her phone. Both came from Ethan's secure number. The text read, "Come home." Chloe called back immediately, but couldn't get through. She practically ran back to the dorm, opened her laptop and searched the news for clues. International news was quiet, but fringe tech forums and social media were spreading vague reports. A remote area had experienced strange geological activity, along with a brief but intense electromagnetic pulse. Witnesses claimed they saw warped bands of light in the sky. Tension at the Northern Frontier Base was unbearable. I wore a custom protective suit. Inside the cockpit of the upgraded Horizon 1, Charles spoke over the comms, unable to hide his concern. "Ethan, be careful. Just send back the data. Your safety comes first." "Understood. I'll deliver the gift on time." The eerie blue curvature cannon appeared again. Horizon 1 silently slipped into warp space and accelerated instantly, racing toward the target far away. High-intensity bioenergy field and spacetime distortion detected. Target is attempting to open a stable micro-wormhole. Deploy the gift. A small device detached from the aircraft and fell toward the target. As it neared the mass, it activated, releasing a powerful directed energy pulse. The mass of flesh let out a silent shriek and convulsed violently. The warped space around it rippled violently like water. Then everything changed. The flesh mass suddenly fired a sickly green energy beam, straight at Horizon 1. I dodged hard, but it still clipped the craft's side. Alarms blared through the cockpit. Shield damaged. Right engine power reduced. Curvature field unstable. I felt an icy psychicudar strike directly at my mind. It was filled with violence and destruction. The eternal archive activated on its own. An invisible mental barrier formed around my consciousness and blocked the attack. But the psychic clash left me dizzy. I focused every ounce of my strength and held nothing back. I routed most of Horizon 1's reserve power into the curvature engine, creating a stronger localized spatial distortion, like an invisible giant hand, slamming down on the struggling flesh mass and the ruined lab below it. There was no explosion, just a deep boom, like space itself being forcibly smoothed flat. The glow below, the twisted space, and that horrific creature vanished without a trace. Only a valley remained, flattened as if a giant plow had torn through it. A week later, by Reflection Lake at Fairmont University, Chloe and I sat side by side on a bench. The setting sun turned the lake gold. I was still a little pale. Chloe rested gently against my shoulder, holding my slightly cold hand. "You're back. That's all that matters." Her voice carried the relief of surviving a nightmare. "Yeah. I promised I wouldn't disappear on you again." Chloe looked up into my eyes and said seriously, "Ethan, I know you're doing something important. It may be dangerous. I may not fully understand it. But remember this, no matter how high or far you fly, this will always be your anchor. Maybe I can't fight beside you, but I'll always leave a light on for you." I squeezed Chloe's hand tightly. My eyes drifted across the sparkling water. "Chloe, this world is bigger and more complicated than we imagined. There's light, but there's also darkness without end. The path I chose is full of unknowns and challenges. But because there are people I want to protect, because someone like you exists, I have more courage to face that darkness." I turned and looked deeply at Chloe. "When this is over, I'll take you to see fireworks. Not on Firefly Island. Maybe somewhere we can see the curve of the whole Earth." Chloe froze for a moment. Then tears of wonder and joy shimmered in her eyes. She nodded firmly. "Okay, I'll wait for you." Night fell and campus streetlights came on one by one. We leaned against each other on the bench without another word. Ethan and Chloe's story, humanity's journey among the stars, and the challenge of the unknown universe had only just begun a new chapter. Their fates were now entwined, and they were about to sail toward